The last 7 times NRG and G2 have matched up, NRG own this series 6-1. G2 got quite a hill to climb, Turtle. It wasn't even in the quarterfinal. G2 had so much offense. They outshot NRG 78-42, and they still couldn't take it home against NRG. They're going to need something a little different this time around in the grand finals.
And it seems like a consistent trend here against teams that go up against NRG. They talked about it on the desk. The shooting percentage for Envy was abysmal, more specifically out of Turbo Pulsar. However, you got to talk about the goal line saves that NRG were able to pull off. A lot of credit can be given to Justin. More specifically, that man was a monster on the goal line. A goalkeeper that you couldn't get past. G2, they've got their work cut out for them. They have to figure out how to put these shots on target. And right away, we're seeing Squishy come out with some goal line saves, Justin with a demo, and the pressure has swapped.
And you thought there would be more of a scare from True Neutral, but G2 took care of business quite handily and looked very strong coming into this grand final. Drees especially, I thought he cleaned up really well against True Neutral. He wants to continue that here. Chicago going to dump this downfield for G2. Justin, well, he'll get deleted, and G2 will actually take the ball. Squishy able to play it back to the side.
We'll see what type of G2 offense we get. A lot of times it can rotate on which player steps up on that specific day or even that specific series. Here's Drees. You were mentioning him yourself, Jorby. You liked how he stepped up in the previous series. Here he is again finding that top corner.
And it's Justin who turns back on this, thinks Drees is going to go center. He still puts his car in a position where he can play both angles, but that shot power from Drees, too much for Justin to handle. Well done.
And I wasn't even going to mention Drees in the previous series. I was going to talk about JNaps. The man shot 1.5 goals per game, 37% shooting accuracy against True Neutral. He was stepping up, but Drees as well. The recent addition to this roster, he replaced Rizzo, had a lot of responsibility, but he stepped up to that challenge, and now he's found himself in the grand finals against NRG.
G2 not without a little bit of adversity. Garrett G tries to punch that one forward. Back over to G2's corner. G2 heavy expectations from their fan base for how they should be performing. And a grand final appearance. Real good for the fan base, but also the players. And Drees, or JNavs, finding that same spot that Drees hit last time, but saved this time.
It's that top left corner. You got to be scared from NRG, but we're still seeing a lot of the goal line defense out of NRG where they're pre-jumping that save. They're up so early. This one drops down right in front of the net. A scary situation, and NRG are actually a little bit cautious here. They're playing it farther back, have a safer approach on offense, Jorby, and it seems like they just want to contain this ball in that G2 half.
I mean, we're almost halfway through the game, and NRG have yet to register a shot. Midfield, G2 up high. Chicago got a demo on the backside, but Garrett picks up the save. Drees wants JNavs, or Drees will actually pick that one up. JNavs coming right behind him. Squishy gets by JNavs, can't get by Chicago. G2 trying to force the issue in the corner. But NRG can't get out now. 4 shots total for G2. Still none for NRG. That one bounces straight off. Here comes another shot just high. Garrett can play it back over to Squishy. NRG, one chance here for Squishy. Shot on target, but Chicago is easily turning it away.
Oh, and look at how fast they are to get a counterattack going. G2, that one clear out to a teammate. Then they're finding another person forward. JNaps is going for a demo. Everything connecting. 2 players taken out, and Chicago's there just to dribble this one in.
Controlling the pace, controlling the physicality. Garrett, no chance to avoid JNaps. Demolition derby for G2.
Oh my goodness, the aggression, G2. This is, I think, why a lot of the people at the desk pick them, at least for the first series in this set of best of 7. A best of 3 of the best of 7s each match. Might go the distance, especially if we keep getting saves like that from Justin. Squishy, a nice little dribble out from their own half. And man, you can just see how they've carried that momentum forward here in this game from G2.
The big thing for me back during that quarterfinal, during the North American Open, is if G2 just placed their shots a little better, they crush NRG. This time, it takes a lot fewer shots for G2 to find the board, and they might get a third one here. JNaps pass in front of Chicago. Oh, he ripped it to the side. 3 goals for G2.
And this is the difference here for G2 that Envy were unable to find. It's the accuracy. Look at the patience from Chicago. He sees the positioning of Garrett and knows it's the bottom left corner that you've got to snipe. You've got to find the accuracy if you want to get past them, and he does just that.
NRG, not exactly how you want a game one to go.
Yeah.
And they got to find a way to adjust and play less defense. You got 11 shots on net from G2, only 2 from NRG. That counter hasn't gone up too much since about the 2-minute mark when they had nothing. That one just lobbed against the back wall. And NRG don't really have any kind of control right now. Squishy will just punt it away, but that's G2's ball.
Yeah, only 2 shots for NRG, and that's just from Squishy, who primarily isn't even the main aggressor here for NRG. A lot of times you'll get Garrett or Justin coming in for that final shot. G2 Esports, however, sitting on 12 shots, looking clean indeed. But the demo's coming out from Justin. The aggression could lead to something here as they find themselves on offense. Nope, never mind. It's a huge clear, and that's going to waste so much time for G2.
JNaps closes the gap, too. No room for Squishy to work with. Game 1 is pretty much under wraps. NRG looking to game 2 to right the ship. Not the best start for NRG, but this is going to be a long grand final. And Chicago almost puts another one in. G2 start out strong and on form. NRG still looking for a way in after game 1.
Yeah, and this is exactly what G2 needed. I mean, a good start here. And you're going to talk about stamina, and we're going to discuss it a lot more as we get into this set, because G2 have not really been in this position, especially in the grand finals. While NRG, they've been in this set before. They know what it's like to play back-to-back best of 7s, have that endurance tested. So as this game unfolds, we'll see if G2 can keep up that level of aggression and still manage to find that accuracy that nobody else could against NRG.
NRG just could never get that counterattack going. When they do end up playing a lot of defense, like you saw against Envy or like you saw against G2 last week, they're able to counterattack quickly, and they're deadly on those attacks. They weren't even able to get past midfield, Turtle, against G2 in that first game. So little bit of room to work with for G2, but NRG, they got to straighten things up.
Oh, yeah. Jorby, you looking fantastic right now.
Thank you, Turtle. Thank you.
I have these glasses, but I have like a bowling ball head. It doesn't really fit me.
That's perfect. No. Just put it on. Put it on. Put it on. Come on, Turtle. I'm putting it on. You're putting it on. Do it right now. Right now. Put it on, bro. You look great. You look absolutely beautiful. You look absolutely beautiful. Oh my goodness. Chat, tell Turtle he looks beautiful. Thank you very much.
They're not adjusted for my head. I'm taking them off. I can't. I need to watch this game, okay? I need to see if NRG have what it takes to bounce back.
You're right.
If I have them on, it's not going to work, okay? NRG, they have so much to work on that defensive side. The accuracy has been found for G2. NRG left in shambles. Now they've got to meet that shot earlier on instead of expecting themselves to get the goal line save, Jorby.
Forbidden Temple underway. G2 were able to put a 3-spot on NRG. And I believe NRG only mounted, 2-3 shots on net by the time regulation ended. You're just going to need more than that on G2's net. Already, Chicago bumping the netminder and almost got the save. Garrett G going to get the follow-up. JNaps there quickly. And Squishy still in net. We're going to have a quick pause for NRG.
Another pause. We got some crazy stuff going on for NRG. It seems like they keep having technical issues. Something not connecting. I don't know if it's an internet issue or if it's a technical issue with their hardware, but even Garrett G himself, if you listen back to the previous interview where we just saw him on, he was saying that, Justin DCing or having NRG forced to take a pause out of their own control is actually one of the most triggering things for them. So a lot of people have been saying maybe this benefits them taking that break. No, these players on NRG, they like to get right back into the action, and having that momentum squashed, it's not going to prove to be beneficial for them.
Definitely not. And especially with how the scoring opened up for them.
Yeah.
NRG, as good as their defense has been, even against Envy, Envy didn't really have the best possessions in my opinion. There was a lot of missed opportunities, a lot of weakly placed shots. So NRG had that going for them, despite how much pressure Envy were able to put on. When G2 are shooting like this, and Drees especially is able to put real pressure on the net when they're full as a unit, able to produce like that. I think it's going to be tough for NRG the whole way. They have to find a way to generate consistent pressure. They can't play back. They can't try to trap the ball into the corners and expect that to work against G2. They're just too potent on offense.
I still really think it's going to come down to the stamina endurance that these teams can prove for themselves, because NRG have been in this exact spot before. They went the distance against FaZe in the North American Open. They ended up losing, but we had one nail biter of a series, or of a set, excuse me. So we'll see if G2 can still manage to keep that accuracy, which is something that starts to slip. When we talk about accuracy, especially as a player, the longer you continue to play in this game, the more you just get a little bit lazy with those shots. You just throw a basic shot on net. You're waiting for a mistake to come out, and that's something that we could see plague on G2's side. And if you're G2, you also have to worry about one player specifically, and that is Garrett G. That man against Team Envy, I believe in Game 6, had 4 goals, put the team on his back. So at any given moment, NRG could flip the switch, and then all of a sudden you've got Garrett G there popping off, getting every single goal, doing all the work on offense, and getting demos that we saw JNAPs doing in the first game of this series.
And just to keep everybody informed, we are remaking the lobby and getting the players back in as soon as possible.
Yep.
So we're just taking a quick pause to get everything sorted out, and then we'll be back underway for game number 2. Speaking of Garrett, Turtle, just talking about the history of him on NRG, man, which he's been on this team for a long time. But there's a few other players that are as storied as Garrett. He's been to every single world championship that we've had. And now he's just going to continue that streak by making another grand final, and it's going to be hard to pull NRG out of the major. Sure, they're not confirmed to make it yet, but it's going to be hard to push them down past the 5 spot now that they've made 2 grand finals. This man continues to produce year after year, despite so many other pros falling off, not playing the game anymore. Garrett is one of the few OGs left. It's crazy and he's performing at a high level too. Like, so many people still put Garrett as one of the best players in the world. I mean, it's insane how much he's produced.
Yeah, and now he's got a chance to make it back to the first land we've had in quite some time. And you could see the excitement that he had in the interview just to get that opportunity here in the grand final to win it, secure that ticket to Sweden, and just keep making history, because this man, he keeps showing his face. And then you got G2 on the flip side. You're going to look at Drees. You're going to see how he performs at LAN. These guys, not too much experience. I'm sure they've, played alongside each other before, but there's nothing like that LAN experience, Jorby, that pressure whenever you're on stage and you're forced to compete and to show up for your team.
Yeah, G2, they can't let this pause hurt their momentum, or their mentality, rather, because NRG, they're definitely going to have the same problem. You were talking about it with Garrett in the interview. They don't like when this kind of thing happens to them, and it really messes with their mentality. Yeah. So it's all about that mental fortitude. You talked about the resilience in these grand finals. The best of sets format is new to Rocket League, and teams, it's just, you're going to have to operate a little differently, because it's not good enough to win one best of 7. It's truly a marathon up here.
Oh yeah, and this break is not going to help, excuse me. It's not going to benefit these players. I would say both sides are relatively frustrated. Obviously, it's a long series, a long set. So you're buckled in for the long haul, but they want to get back on the pitch. They want to get playing. Okay, these guys, so much practice put into this, trying to make the major spot, so much pressure here. And I'm curious what kind of G2 now we get going into game number 2. They won the first one. They're trying to continue the momentum here. And Jorby, do you agree with the Des? Do you think that we're going to see a G2 win in the first series?
If they look like they do in game 1, sure. But few series today have looked the same at the beginning as they did at the end. We will be restarting game 2 from match start 5 minutes.
Right.
So we'll get a fresh start on Forbidden Temple. Test lobby is over. We should be getting the game underway here very shortly. Players getting ready. Squishy.
Oh, the giggles.
He's getting pumped over there. Yep, that's good.
That's all we need.
Good vibes, Turtle.
Oh, man. And
he's chilling.
I just keep seeing Justin grab that water bottle, and I just remember him talking about in between games, and I've been seeing it more and more with pros now. They are staying as hydrated as possible. I'm sure there's some timeouts that get called just for these players to go to the bathroom. All right, so these guys staying hydrated, staying prepared. It's a long set, but I think we have game 2 pretty much all ready to go here, Jordan.
We do. The kickoff countdown is here, and we're underway. Game number 2. Big thing for NRG. I'll put more shots on net. It's really that simple. Or keeping G2 out, that might be a little more difficult. Chicago tees this one up for Drees. NRG will be able to play that back over to the
Ooh,
corner,
big
but
miss from
JNAP
Garrett.
sniping it. Chicago might punish him off the backboard. Here comes Drees, went for the read, but it's put back over to the corner.
The defense looking awkward already for NRG. Garrett with a whiff in the corner, couldn't get the read. G2 starving out NRG within the first 30 seconds, pushing them on their heels and trying to get maybe a physical play that we did see JNAPs go for before. There's Drees with a shot on target. That top left corner, he keeps trying to find it.
JNAP's got a little bit of space. He sees Chicago. Oh! Chicago! 1-0 G2.
This is ridiculous from Chicago. He goes in for the 50-50. He takes the boost, and then he gets the redirect. So much pace behind that ball. This time, the top right corner, G2 scoring first and on top. My goodness, the accuracy is definitely there.
That's 4 unanswered now from G2. JNAP flips that one up. Garrett, he's blocked by Drees. Uh-oh, Drees puts it in!
No.
5 unanswered now for G2.
And it's another mistake from Garrett G. He's had an off game too. First it was the whiff, and now the accidental touch. He was going for some control, maybe even a setup for, I believe it was Squishy in net to get a dribble out, but instead it just passed it right to G2, and they're ready to punish.
A little bit of that moxie from Chicago and Drees early on, where they really couldn't shoot the ball against NRG the last time this team matched up. It's completely different this time. G2 cleaned up in Swiss. They cleaned up the bracket.
Oh.
And now it's a quality start, but NRG almost got their first goal. It's pinched out and back to midfield.
And that would have been crucial for Garrett G's mental, having committed a couple of mistakes here on defense. Almost got the shot on target. He found the dunk from the side corner, but couldn't get the follow-up. Just a little bit slower, and there's a bump there on Chicago. Almost forces something awkward. Maybe off the corner, NRG are trying to build something here. Any form of foundation on offense, Jordan, but they can't get it going.
Well, Drees earlier was lucky he wasn't punished for pushing up a little too far out of the box. That shot from NRG was a bit off target. Justin, well, he's taken out by JNAPs. Squishy carefully handling this off the backboard. And he does keep Drees flat on the ground, but Chicago got the 50. JNAPs is up for it. Garrett gets a big clear for NRG, preventing multiple shots from going through. And another clear for G2. JNAP beats Garrett G to the ball. JNAP still on this one. Goes for the demo. Oh, he got him. Drees, third goal for G2.
JNAPs has done so much work for this team. He's being so incredibly aggressive, and you think he's going to take the selfish route and go for that extra ball? No. Instead, he looks at Squishy Muffin sitting in net, tries to take him out, might have made a little bit of contact, but that shot, nonetheless, was just too perfect. It would have gone in.
Yeah, I mean, great effort from Squishy to try to avoid that bump. And finally, they punched through. NRG, after 6 unanswered goals, get their first against G2.
Oh, and that's lovely positioning from Squishy Muffins. He knew Chicago was going to try to go for the far side, and then saw even his own teammate looking for a bump, trying to harass that last goalkeeper, and Squishy with an easy cleanup. This could lead to some more offense. Maybe they found their rhythm here, Jorby. It's going to be an important one for NRG.
Justin knows he has to keep that close, and he did so to get it by JNAPs, but
oh my goodness.
G2 really controlling the pace of the game. Even there, JNAPs, no problem for the hard pass to Chicago, and he almost banked that in the top corner. JNAPs fighting off Justin for the ball, but Squishy gets underneath, back over to G2 territory.
I love this aggressive JNAPs. I mean, he's doing so much with his rotation, Jorby. He's extending it forward. He's getting a bump, maybe even a demo. And then on top of that, he'll rotate in and be very attentive as to where the ball's going. He's trying to look to see if he can get an extra touch, maybe even pass to his teammates. Here's Drees, though, over one defender. Garrett G also jumped, and Chicago has a clean follow-up. What is going on with the NRG defense here?
NRG are just flat here. You see Squishy, he goes up for that 50. He doesn't even get a touch on the ball. And Garrett,
my goodness,
expecting something to come through for him. Justin was on the side or on the back wall. He couldn't get the read. It was a perfect placement as well. G2, do not stop the output. Production. G2 won another one, but NRG gonna put that one away.
Oh,
Squishy missed the touch, and it's gonna fall right down. Dree's gonna punch it away. Well, G2 we're gonna start the clock. They could do it right now. Justin set up Squishy, back over to Garrett. NRG have a chance, up high to Justin. Couldn't get the read.
was a good look there. I like the aggression from Squishy off the backboard, then following it up with the back pass, trying to keep possession. It's what they need. It's not as important to get the goals here, Jor, but you just got to put some shots on target, excuse me. Try to build something on offense. There's a pass from Justin, a counterattack. Garrett G also gets the demo, maybe something for Squishy,
Whoa.
as he just narrowly misses the target. But NRG, they're getting more threatening.
Yeah, Squishy had to be perfect on his touch. He had no boost when he went for that shot. It's tough to do from that side wall if you can't caress it a little bit. But here's Drees, puts it up high. Garrett has the block.
Oh.
Time waster now. NRG, another shot. That's a hard one from Garrett, but it's saved. Here comes another one. The net's open, and Justin does start the clock for NRG. 41 seconds left.
Could lead to something. There's plenty of time. Garrett G, he put a firecracker on net. So much power, and you're forcing Chicago to get a solid touch, but it's hard to find one that doesn't go to an opponent. NRG lurking in the distance, waiting to get a punish, and there it is. 2 goals now separate these teams. Surely possible for NRG.
J-Naps, deleted. Here's Justin, got the catch, slips underneath for the low 50, but Drees actually wins it. Boosting down into the ball. Garrett trying to shake him off. J-Naps pushing forward, trying to end game 2 right now. Justin, another 50, and NRG can move back down the field. They need a goal with time left. Drees gonna pop this one up. Just keep it close and don't give up possession.
10
Punching it back
seconds.
to the opposite side of G2 territory. Squishy, last look. No one's going for that one. It's over Justin's head. It's in the net. They know it. Game 2's over. It's G2's.
And I'm glad Drees was the one who scored this, because I've been looking to talk about this player and what he's been doing on the field. He's taking boost left and right and being so annoying. Initially, it was J-Naps who was taking that main aggressive role on this G2 roster, but it has swapped over in the final minute to Drees. He took the midfield boost, then the corner of NRG, rotating out, looking for demos, trying to waste as much time as possible, letting that ball drop, and G2 Esports continue their tear against NRG.
A little bit better in the shooting department for NRG. 9 shots on net. Still not good enough to outpace G2, though. 4 less than their opponent. Still, you liked how they looked at the end there, Turtle. They had a little bit of space in the attacking third. They made those passes happen. G2 gave them a couple of poor touches, and you felt like they had some room to work with in that final minute.
I mean, it was just a really rough start for Garrett G. A lot of mistakes on defense where he's looking to get a pass, maybe even keep possession to his own teammates, but the touch wasn't there. Mechanical issues for NRG, and we don't say that a lot about these guys. Usually they're spot on with the mechanics. Not in this game, not in this series against G2. They're going to have to fix a couple of those mistakes, but we can't say the same thing for G2. Their accuracy still consistent here as we go throughout this series, and that's what I was questioning, whether or not they could keep it up. And certainly they've answered that with a hard and resounding yes.
I mean, G2's offense, when they're on, they look like the best team in North America. It feels like they're passing the ball freely when NRG are covering. They have good coverage on defense, but the 50s, the shot placement, the power, everything that needs to go right for G2 is going right. So NRG have to find a way to shake that off of them. They have to throw a wrench into this G2 attack.
And I kind of like this G2 offense where Chicago isn't as aggressive as we're normally used to seeing. A lot of times it would be Chicago getting the demos, stealing as much boost as pretty much their whole team combined, but it's mixed up. He does get a demo there, though. Maybe it leads to something in the midfield. No, it does not. NRG, they are angry and upset at how the previous 2 games have gone.
Garrett will buy a little bit of time for his team to get set up. Justin punching the ball out of the corner. NRG trying to set up for an extended stay in the orange half. That's a great touch from J-Naps to Chicago. The one spot where NRG really were just off the mark on, and now Squishy's got control. Justin with a demo to give him space. Squishy on the flip, and Garrett with the shot, but it's too high, and he takes the play away from Justin, and now NRG are in full retreat, but J-Naps mistouches the ball, and that gets NRG out of a tough spot. Demo to give Chicago space. He gets shot into the ball, and they're still going to progress. Oh, Drees, whoopsies on the flip, and here's Justin with no boost. Pull up, Garrett, next up on the touch, he wins the touch. Drees back over to J-Naps, and some careful touches from G2 keep the ball out of their net.
Yeah, there were a couple of chances to get a solid counterattack for both teams, rather, but none of them could get the execution spot on. Meanwhile, J-Naps is still a man who does not like rotating out super quick. He's staying in the offensive half looking for demos. Here he is winning a 50-50, and of course, he's going to try and go for a demo, take the boost, get aggressive. Chicago got taken out. Garrett G, now there's a chance for him. What's he going to do? He's in the corner. He's got one player in the middle. Instead, opts to go for the 50-50. And NRG are still scoreless on an opportunity that looked like they should have found the net.
Oh, and that was a great pass from Justin to Garrett. I love that idea. Garrett was across the pitch. It gave G2 just a little bit of time to figure it out. Garrett fakes on the flip. He bumps one player out of net, but Justin has to be JNaps. JNaps kicks him out of the way. Chicago next up, Squishy, too late. Chicago forces another 50. Dree's already in the air. He's got to fight Garrett, so he drops down. And G2, a little haphazard there in midfield. Justin chasing him down. NRG, they have not spent nearly as much time in their own half. They have 5 shots, and G2 have none halfway through the game. Here's their first one, too light, taken away. Garrett G lets that ball go for Justin, and with a full tank of boost, Justin looks to get NRG going on offense.
Oh yeah, and here he is off the backboard. Almost led to something. Garrett G was waiting in the midfield. He goes up for the 50-50. Both players anticipated the second touch, which means nobody actually finds a hit on the ball. NRG, like you said, Jorby, they haven't spent nearly as much time in that offensive half in any other game besides this one. They look to have found their stride, but still scoreless, which means G2 can still steal this game away. They're taking boosts, they're finding demos, connecting with the passes, and finally the shots a little bit wide, crossbar down, but they're still looking for it, Jorby.
Garrett barely handling that ball too. Squishy goes through traffic, misses the ball. Dries gets bumped out by Justin. Garrett knows he's got to buy a little bit of time, pulls off on the 50.
Chicago.
Gets the block on the pass. Excellent work from Garrett G. Oh, it's not over. Chicago's on the backside and can't get the shot. Oh, Justin's getting
what is this? It's so chaotic. I'm trying to pay attention to what's going on the field. It's been so physical. I mean, the first 2 games, of course, there were demos flying all over the field, but this is just another level. This is crazy.
For sure. The bubs, crucial too. A lot of them to stop attacks for both teams. Here's Dries, puts it above the corner. Chicago forces the 50, and it's a race to the ball in the corner. JNaps is going to get there, pushes it by Justin. Chicago misses the ball.
What is happening?
Over the crossbar, and nobody from G2's ready. Justin gets in the way, but JNaps cuts off the counterattack. Squishy's got only 3 boosts, and he's just going to pop it away for NRG.
That felt like 2, maybe 3 consecutive whiffs from NRG where they're expecting a better touch out of G2. It doesn't come through, but then the little doink from Garrett G, it almost slipped in. That is back-to-back crossbar shots for G2 and then NRG.
Chicago on the race, pass over to JNaps. JNaps kicks it high. No one from G2's ready. They're waiting for NRG's touch, and they get a pass over to Justin. Cut off by Chicago. Squishy's ready. He's got Garrett downfield. Garrett slows it down. Blocked by JNaps. And now JNaps carrying it back downfield for Chicago. G2, another attack. Dries, a little high, and Squishy can play that back over to Garrett for another NRG counterattack. Here they come, off the ceiling. Garrett gets it down in front of the box, put up high off the ceiling. Justin.
There it is.
Good! NRG with 15 seconds remaining have the lead.
We had been waiting all game for somebody to punish on a mistake. Look at Garrett G. So much work to set Justin up, who was waiting patiently in the midfield, jumped at the exact moment he needed to, had the speed, found the shot, 15 seconds left. G2, they need something, otherwise NRG can start that momentum.
Garrett playing out of his mind this game. Squishy puts that one up high. Chicago has got one more chance for G2. He sees his teammate, but it's killed.
Oh my goodness.
And NRG take this game, finally getting a game win under their belt.
That's the scary thing about Garrett G. Any given moment, any given game, that man could pop off and start ascending to a new level. And he really needed to. It wasn't even just performing well. It was just performing at an average rate for him, because in the previous game, he did not look too good whatsoever. He committed, I believe, 2 mistakes back-to-back. Couldn't find anything. And we actually have a timeout called for NRG coming out of an interview where Garrett G said he hates taking timeouts, and he's gone.
He's gone. Quick bathroom break.
He pieced it.
The rare tactical timeout after a win. It's
that's got to be a bathroom break.
Good strat. Yeah, definitely.
That's what I was talking about.
That's why he played so well, because he's like,
exactly.
we got to end this game. Like, I have to go to the bathroom.
Maybe it's a questionable choice to go to the bathroom instead of just trying to hold it in. Potentially, it could benefit you. I'm not sure, but according to Garrett G, he wants to just get some relief. And meanwhile, we'll look at G2, see what they have planned out now for the next game. Jorby, what do you think they need to fix here going into the next one?
I mean, I don't think they have to fix too much, honestly. I thought they had some good attacks on offense, but they didn't have. Yeah, that's right. They didn't have any shots in the first half of the game, so it kind of got done to them what they did to NRG early on in the game. But I still felt like they were able to move downfield. They still had some good passes. NRG were just in lockstep on defense, getting every clear.
It was a little bit sloppy, I'd say, from both teams. Like it didn't feel at all like perfect Rocket League where everybody's finding the proper touch. We even did see a couple of whiffs, and as we look at NRG, Garrett G, he's back. He has returned. We're not sure where he went. Maybe getting some fresh air like in the previous EU regional where Scrub was looking out his window, just breathing in that fresh air. Maybe that's what he needed. And we're going to get back into this after we look at a couple of replays. And the way they were moving down the field, Jorby, I really liked. NRG had a couple of counterattack opportunities. And then G2, they had back-to-back crossbar hits from both teams. One for G2, and then NRG exchanged the blow and found the crossbar as well.
Yeah, I love the passing from NRG because it was in the middle of this really physical game where you couldn't really find many passing lanes in your own half. But we saw on the highlights there, Garrett just kind of inching his way out to midfield. It's like, Justin, you could get that ball to me. And he gets the ball to him. G2 are panicked on the counterattack. If they could keep putting plays together like that, despite mounting G2 pressure, NRG might be able to tie this series up.
Oh, yeah. And now if you're a G2 fan, you're shaking a little bit because momentum has swung a little bit in favor of NRG, but a good start here, an early one, for G2 could flip that again.
JNAPS puts it high. Squishy's there on the backboard. You see Chicago pull off there after that JNAPS touch. Getting set on defense. Good touch from Drees. Chicago forces the 50, and an unfortunate touch for NRG. G2 gonna push downfield. It's a good catch from Garrett.
Oh my goodness, he's going all the way.
Doing himself, yeah. Garrett getting over almost the entire defense.
Timeout, it was the right call, Jorby.
Okay, we figured it out. Only 40 seconds in. It was the right call. Chicago gonna play the ball. JNAP's gonna play enforcer.
It was the wrong call.
50 from Chicago. His brain's too big.
Oh my goodness. You got the fake. You slow the pace down. Everybody on NRG expected Chicago to go for a flick or even an early shot. JNAPS then had time to go for some demos. And NRG looked flat on defense as Chicago forced it in.
I mean, what do you do when you got the options and Chicago knows
Absolutely.
Pick your poison on that play.
And that's just the safest play in that situation, Jorby. Let JNAPS harass the defense, and then all you have to do is stay behind the ball, look for a solid 50-50. And on top of that, Chicago, he's just getting all of these passes handed out to him in the midfield.
He put his mark on this exact spot of the net. JNAPS,
oh my goodness,
fakes the touch. Chicago gets it. NRG totally frozen, expecting JNAPS to hit that ball. And when he didn't, well, that was always going to be a goal for Chicago.
I'm telling you, JNAPS is on another level these past few games. Even in the last series against True Neutral, I was so impressed with how he was performing. And while Chicago has both the goals, they certainly would not have been possible without JNAPS and his aggression.
JNAPS in the corner, continuing the offensive onslaught.
Look at him go.
From G2. Nice catch from Squishy. Gets it by two G2 attackers and now sets them up on offense. For Chicago, it's just a good touch back over to Drees, who pinches it right back to NRG territory. And Justin loses that to Chicago, who almost got a hattie on that. And Squishy will roll back around the pitch. Good steal from Justin. One more to beat. He's got the pass. Garrett's underneath. What a block from Chicago. He can score him. He can save him. Squishy, one more chance for NRG. No, JNAPS puts it back over to the corner. Chicago tries to catch it underneath. Here up high, JNAPS gets in the way of the NRG offense. Squishy, that's just a touch to buy time. Garrett's still coming back from the net. He'll take that midfield boost, but the ball sails over his head. It's up to Justin. Squishy got a demo on the backside.
There's another
bump. Like another player got bumped, but JNAPS on the spawn gets a perfect touch back over to Drees.
And it looks like there's so much pressure from NRG, which there is, but G2 are not worried about it. I've noticed they're going for so many more dribbles. Chicago has not stopped with the demos as well. So aggressive. And look at how close they keep this ball, Jorby. G2, they're given space, they're given a chance, and they make use of it. They know that if they have a small first touch, they can continue forward. Drees goes for a 50-50. JNAPS right here, a big boom into the midfield. Chicago, more space for him as he gets one touch and then a follow-up into the corner.
Garrett again, able to flip by one G2 car, but it's not just one or even two. That's been enough for NRG. They got to get by that whole team. In Chicago, he might as well be worth 2 players on the pitch right now with how often he's winning the ball. Squishy. Another carry denied by Dries. Chicago up speedily to the ball. Boom! Hat trick for Chicago.
Absolutely dusted in the air. Look at Chicago and how fast he is. This is a 1v1 for that 50-50. Justin and Chicago. And Chicago comes out on top to get the hat trick for this game.
It was the same spot too. He's hit the same spot 3 times in a row.
The consistency. Everybody was questioning the NV accuracy and what would have happened if they found it. This might just be that answer.
Chicago was like, I've been shooting the ball too high. NRG will pick up a goal here. That's good.
Okay.
To get a goal. Yep.
That is much needed here, Jorby, because they were not looking clean, not looking good at all. Garrett G, the follow-up. Now it's only within 2, and as much as we give praise to G2, things could swap so quickly for NRG.
Things absolutely could. You're absolutely right about that. NRG are still going to be deadly as ever on that counterattack, but you know it's been difficult for them, Turtle. What are you talking about? That physical game. We've seen so many demos from G2. NRG haven't been able to match that physicality. You have to match the physicality in order to beat the other team, but it's definitely a factor. Here's Chicago for his 4th off the crossbar. J-Naps puts it up high. Justin gets kicked out of the way. Squishy can play it back to the corner. A 4th goal for G2 would surely put this game under wraps. But NRG, they'd love to pull within 1 here. Garrett, another ball for him. Justin's up quickly. There it is. 1 more for NRG.
This is what we were talking about. Scary situation for G2. You give NRG just 1 chance, 1 opportunity to get back into the game, and they're going to take it. There's the speed from Justin, getting revenge over Chicago from that previous midfield loss. And now it's only within 1.
After going about 3 scoreless minutes, NRG now in position to tie it up. Justin on the far side gets a solid touch out. Chicago returns the favor, and he's got space with Dries. Pops it right over Squishy. NRG forced on defense. Garrett gets a couple of nice 50s, but Dries is next up on the ball. Catch has Justin to contend with. Gets underneath him, but Squishy pulls it back to the corner. Another good touch from him, and Justin, can't get by Chicago in midfield. Dries puts it up high. Garrett committed on the play, gets it back down to the corner. NRG good enough on defense so far, Turtle. 38 seconds remain for them to get that tying goal.
And it was a really good touch earlier on defense from Garrett G. He pre-jumped the touch from Dries. Now everybody on G2 is in the exact same spot. Nobody spaced out a chance for NRG, but nobody wanted to take the risk and follow up the touch from Garrett.
Popped it up against the back wall. Taken away again by J-Naps. Up high for Garrett. Off the corner. He wants the read. He's got it. Squishy's in the air. Another 50 for Justin. He's got to look at it. Chicago gets in the way. Falling off the ceiling with Dries. Two commit, but nobody scores. G2 with less than 10 seconds.
10 seconds.
J-Naps behind the ball. Air dribble. Taken away by Justin. Chicago up quickly. Trying to kill the ball. Garrett got the catch. He lost it, but the 50 keeps it in the air. Squishy got the pop up. Justin got there. Garrett. Another tee up. Chicago finally kills the ball. 1 away from the first series going to G2.
If we pause the stream right at that exact moment where there was about, I believe, 10 seconds left, maybe 11, it seemed like everybody on G2 was in the exact same spot. They were panicking on defense. Somehow they dug themselves out of that hole, Jorby, and held on. It was so close. They were giving NRG too many chances. But at the end of the day, it was that good performance on offense and the initial aggression from Chicago in this game that we didn't see towards the end that got them that early lead.
NRG got to find a way to put it together earlier.
Yeah.
Against G2.
It's there. Like, don't get me wrong. The opportunities, it feels like NRG should have stole this game, to be honest with you, with what it looked like in the final few moments. G2 were panicking.
Well, G2. 1 away from closing this first series out in just 5 games. I had a feeling, Turtle, we were going the full 21 today. And we still might. A 3-1 lead is not safe.
Hey.
We've all mentioned it at some point today. A 3-1 lead is not safe. NRG are high proof of that.
Oh, yeah. They were in this exact same spot against Team Envy, and they made the comeback, okay? And NRG, I'd say, look even better in this series or at this given moment than they did in the previous one against Envy. So it's all up in the air, Jorby. Who knows what kind of gameplay we're going to see? There is actually a pause on the field. Might be a connection issue. It does seem like we will be resuming actually shortly as I'm looking at chat, but somebody has disconnected, and we'll get that back in here. But for now, we just get to look at your beautiful glasses, Jorby. Thank you.
Yeah, these are fantastic glasses. Everyone was on the pitch. We just didn't join the game in time for the countdown, but we'll get it reset. We'll get the kickoff reset and get the game underway. So, Turtle, as we head to Wasteland Night, I want your number one priority for NRG right now, because they're on the ropes.
It feels like the execution isn't there. Like they have found the gaps in the defense for G2, especially in the final minute of the last game. And I'm just waiting on the execution. I'm not sure if it's that third man that's not taking the risk to push up. It does feel like it has been that issue from time to time. But most importantly, I just want to see better shots out of NRG. The opportunities are presenting themselves to them on offense when they hold the ball. G2 are all scrambling in the same spot. It's much easier that way to punish them. You just need to find the shot here, Jorby.
In particular, I've been impressed with Dries so far in this grand final. I think people can be hot and cold on him, and his performance. Sometimes he's performing the best on G2. Other times you're wondering where he is on the pitch. But in this grand final right now, his control has been solid. He's had plenty of quality touches for his team, and it's showing you the G2 roster right now. Squishy has to pick up a quick save. Dries puts this one up high, and that's a good touch, but a better save from Justin.
It's the start of each game where NRG are struggling. The backboard reads not the same. A couple of whiffs. I think we just saw one there earlier from Justin. Need to fix that up. If you want to build early momentum, you can't just rely on the final minute where G2 already have the lead, Jorby.
JNAPS couldn't wrap that one around. They were trying to figure out a way to actually capitalize on that 2-on-1 opportunity. The ball just going a little too fast on the sidewall. NRG back on defense again at the start, but this is a good look for Garrett. He's got no boost left. That's going to be difficult for him. Justin up a little too slow for it. Rather, Dries was just in a perfect spot and a perfect touch. Chicago back for G2 on offense. He wins that 50 clean, but misses the ball, and it almost messed G2 or NRG up on that play. Garrett's downfield.
He's got no boost though.
He sees the backboard.
No way.
Doesn't matter.
What?
No boost, no problem, Turtle.
Garrett G had nothing in the tank. He used all of it to get this shot, and he still managed to find the double tap. Garrett G, no boost, no problem. He sinks it.
That's clean. Clean stuff from Garrett G. JNAP splits through the NRG attack off the kickoff. Chicago up quickly, taken away by Justin. Justin is not privy to letting G2 stay on offense for too long. He's had a lot of solid clears. He gets another one here. Or that's squishy, excuse me.
It's looking kind of scary here for NRG because I've seen JNAPS start to go for those demos again. If he starts getting physical and lands a couple of these, NRG's defense could be all over the place. We've seen what happened before. JNAPS then takes the midfield boost. Good preparation here for G2 looking to go on offense.
Pop up for Squishy. JNAPS gets in the way, and Dries punches it right back over. Garrett misses the ball, and Justin makes up for it. Squishy committed on the play as well. Justin has to get this touch, and that's a good enough 50 to give Squishy a look at the ball. Nice pop. G2, everyone was committed on that play. Dries was inching up as well, and he gets another pinch. Justin's forced into the corner. NRG with Justin all by himself. He's 1v3'd how many times? I can't count. He won't do it that time. Squishy getting over the G2 attack, and Garrett going to push it back downfield.
I'm kind of curious if this is a new strategy here for NRG they're implementing. It seems like everybody's opting to go for those slower air dribbles out of their own half. Maybe that's a good counter to the aggression from G2. If they're demoing you and bumping you while you're on the ground, take the ball into the air and stay behind it. Hope to get a better 50-50. Squishy was there forced to get a tough save, and they're stuck on defense, Jorby, but look at the patience. Squishy knows he has a lot of space, and he's going to take it up the wall, go for a slower approach, and maybe try to create something out of it, but still yielding nothing.
Because Justin had to wait. Couldn't commit on the play. G2 swarming like wasps on the blue half. Here's another one. But Garrett, the 50's going to be Squishy's. How many times have they tried to field this ball from their own corner?
Yeah.
And they actually haven't spent any time in the orange half. Garrett, he wins in the third, so they're progressing forward a little bit, but they can't get another touch. G2 actually slip underneath. Here's Dries back to Chicago. He tried to lay it on his nose, and JNAPS is behind, gets the 50. Chicago's next up. Plays it underneath. He sees Squishy, slips under him. JNAPS, the shot doesn't come through, and Dries almost got caught out cheating up. He'll get demoed, but it's JNAPS' ball.
Oh, Squishy getting aggressive. Normally, you'd see him rotate back. He actually got one demo, and then they equalized each other. There's space for Garrett G to make a flick into the midfield. Justin pre-jumped, found a touch, left Squishy alone on defense, but he's taking the risk and still winning that 50.
Garrett, that's a good enough first touch to get to it again, and Chicago gets underneath him. Oh, NRG now getting a little more aggressive with that challenge from Squishy. But Dries, he's got space to work with underneath. He's got JNAPS on the wing. One! Then there's the second on the rebound, but it's saved! Squishy got a big touch, and G2 try to keep things locked in the blue half, and they might know Justin's gonna be behind it. He's got a little bit more boost, conserves as much as he can. It's taken away, and Squishy's got a free look.
Squishy,
a full tank of boost. Another touch. Bump on the Chicago. Can he get a pass as well? Garrett has to wait. He's frozen in the third, and Dries puts it underneath Justin. NRG hanging on to this 1-goal lead, trying as they may to add to it. They can't. Here's again Squishy. Another 50 for G2. A demo from Dries on the Garrett.
Another one on Justin.
Swipe by Justin. Downfield, and they have the shot taken away. Squishy around the corner. NRG expertly thwarting G2's attack. Here's another touch from Justin. Gets the ball downfield. JNAPS pitches this one high. Dries gets a demo on the backside. Squishy plays it back over. A pass denied by Garrett. He's all over it, and the net's open if they can get there. Justin shot over to Dries, taken away to the corner.
15 seconds.
And G2 need one more push, but he missed the ball.
What's going on?
Easy for Justin. NRG all but convert and take game number 5. Woohoo!
Oh, and the pressure is getting to Dries. You can see he was going up into the corner, misread the bounce, or potentially thought somebody on his own team was behind him. Can't come out clutch in that situation. 11 seconds, 2 goals. All NRG need is a solid kickoff, and they're going to take this win here in game number 5. This is ridiculous, Jorby. I don't know if you saw, but Squishy is quite literally the hero for NRG on that pre-jump save. I was on his camera. Bro, I hope we see it in the replay because it was one of the most ridiculous plays that I saw unfold in this series yet. Squishy had a decision, a clear decision to try to cut in and go for the early jump or stay on the ground and backflip with the pre-jump save. It was ridiculous, and for whatever reason, Squishy knew exactly where that ball was going, got the save, hit it out, and saved NRG when they were only in the lead by 1 goal. That's the play that secured the win and might possibly be the change here and the shift in momentum.
Oh, G2 shooting. It was a lot harder to shoot the ball on net for them. Garrett, that little bit of space, that was a nice double. This
look at this. There it is. That
was the best opportunity they had. Yeah. Tell me about Squishy's save.
It's just insane to me because Squishy could have turned in early to go for the challenge. A lot of players would have just instantly turned left and gone up to try to meet the player who's shooting early for the challenge. But instead, he went back to the net and pre-jumped a little bit to get the save. It doesn't look flashy. It doesn't look crazy, but it's crazy to me from Squishy. I can't believe he went for that decision because I was thinking the entire time he's just going to go for the early challenge, Shorby.
His catches in the corners too. Like how many times were G2 pushing the ball into the corner, making good 50s in midfield? Yeah. They were generating pressure, but it was Squishy in the corners, winning 50s, getting hard clears, setting his team up and bailing his team out. If the last game was Garrett, and Garrett still played well in this game, but I'm with you, Turtle. Squishy had a very solid game for NRG. And here we go. Are we seeing a repeat again from semifinals?
I don't know. If you're G2 in the back of your head, I'm sure you're thinking, oh my goodness, are we Team Envy? Our shooting is not that good at this current moment. We're creating opportunities, but we aren't yielding any results. It's got to be painful, but maybe JNAPS can change that story with a dunk. He does find the dunk, but it's not accurate.
G2, they're able to kick the game off on offense more times than not, but can they actually convert at the start of the game? NRG got him on the counterattack last time. Squishy pulling off wide on the ball. JNAPS had no boost. Chicago gonna find a full tank. JNAPS back over to Dries, cut off. Another double commit from NRG. They seem a little hoppy on defense. They haven't gotten punished for it just yet, but gotta be careful with that.
Oh, the whiff. JNAPS had an opportunity, didn't read the backboard bounce. And that's a bit uncharacteristic. Earlier on in this series, G2 were starting off so strong, finding the net. The shots were on target. Can't really say the same here, but they do look good with this possession. Maybe that one's still off target, Jorby. Accuracy failing them.
Dries able to send that ball across. Chicago's in the air. Shot on and in Justin's face. Chicago scoring all the time in this grand final.
Yep. Third time's the charm here. The third shot, and it goes in. Chicago, he saved his flip to get the extra power to make sure even if a pre-jump came out from NRG, it's going to ricochet and still find the net.
for G2. What's worked? Well, Chicago's worked. This one might just go in. Garrett gets to the ball in time. It feels like everything he's touching is turning gold. JNAP's last man back, picks up the save. Justin scoop high up for Squishy. He has to stretch for this. And another big win from Chicago. Justin last back and another clear.
That speed from Chicago in the midfield is huge for G2. It's relieving all this pressure. I mean, if he loses that challenge, his teammates are forced to rotate back in, waste even more boost trying to find another touch. But Chicago, he's a player that you love to have on your team because he can give you that extra time to collect yourself and find that rotation.
Up high, Garrett flips in front of it. And we're just in a friendly bout of boomer ball. That's a good touch from Garrett. But taken down by Drees. This is NRG's ball. Squishy, light shot. All three from G2 commit to it. Hang on, boys. Big demo. Garrett G puts it in. NRG tie it up.
And you think G2 are going to get away with this one, but nope. Drees bumps JNAPS out of position. JNAPS wasn't even prepared. A demo comes out from Squishy. Well executed. You knew that was the exact moment you need to get a demo right after a double commit. Sets up one of the easiest shots for NRG. All tied up here. Both teams look solid on defense and on offense.
Well, Squishy thought he might have been able to get a pass after squeezing that boost away. Justin. A demo from Squishy gives Garrett space. He's going to use all of it to get this flip reset. Gets over a defender, and Drees, as the failsafe, puts the ball away. JNAPS now has got a one-on-one with Drees and Garrett. He's going to take out Garrett. Chicago, he freezes Garrett on the goal line. Drees carries it in.
And you're forcing Garrett G to stay down instead of pre-jumping. Chicago, it's crucial you go for the bump, and Chicago went high, assuming Garrett's going to jump, forcing Garrett to, in turn, stay on the ground, and you set up a nice little dribble there for G2.
That was at several times for G2. The physical game is the true X factor for them in this. When those demos and they're getting quality opportunities off of them, even non-demos, just the threat of the demo is enough to freeze NRG and get NRG or give G2 a goal.
And it's not just about going for demos all the time, Jorby, as we've seen now from both teams actually with the Squishy bump and demo play in the previous goal for NRG. It's about the timing, when you go for the demo, when you decide to take out one player, because if you're just constantly looking for demos, it's not going to be as effective as you might think. But getting it whenever you have possession and your team's looking for a counterattack, that's when it's crucial.
Good cover up by Drees. A clear almost going straight out into NRG. Justin, he gets taken out on the backside. Squishy underneath on the flip reset, taken away by Chicago. And NRG playing midfield. Waiting to see how G2 approach this. They will be able to push forward. Here's Garrett.
Oh, double commit.
Couldn't get the Squishy. Tried to put it on his nose. Justin just got caught out. JNAPS couldn't punish him. He tries to force the 50. He can't find the ball anymore. Justin slips underneath. Drees just has to punch it high and buy G2 some time. He does that and a little bit more. Chicago can't really find a way in, so JNAPS is going to come in for G2, hanging on to this 1-goal lead with a minute left.
Almost saw a slap in the face from JNAPS to Justin, where JNAPS just dunked Justin in the midfield, who went for a slower approach. Fortunately, if you're an NRG fan, Justin did get back in time. Here's Squishy on the dribble. He's around one, he's around two, maybe around the third one. Nope, Chicago finds a touch, but NRG looking to prove themselves on offense.
Oh, Drees, great touch to keep it close. JNAPS, he flips over two NRG attackers. Garrett cleaning up as third man. And he gets another touch. Justin spreads out wide on the wing. Justin can't get to it. JNAPS gets a quick ball out to Chicago. Squishy flying back, can't get the touch. That leaves it open for G2. JNAPS puts it high, taken away by Squishy. Over to Garrett.
A bit awkward there from Squishy. At first I was wondering why he was still in the air, but instead he recovered on the backboard to get a follow-up. And that means NRG can get back on offense. JNAPS forced to get a touch. Such a crucial hit, but he finds it. G2 though, the last minute, things can get dicey for them. What happened in the previous game, they're put to the test.
Justin, another 50. Garrett's next up, puts it high. He wants two, but Drees is right there to take the ball away. Squishy, too slow. Drees puts it downfield again. Justin, another chance at it. Chicago puts it down. Garrett knows he has to keep it in the air. And that ball caught by Squishy.
Wait, hold on a minute.
Hold on a minute. Stop the attack. Here comes NRG. Justin sets it up high. Squishy nowhere close to it. Garrett, does he got the catch? He does, but Chicago's all over him. Squishy, 0-second drill for NRG. Garrett G to the side wall. Where's Justin? Where's Squishy?
Squishy's there.
Save. Go! NRG have tied it up.
How did they keep this ball in the air? NRG outpacing G2, finding the predictions as to where G2 are going to try and clear this. And they recover flawlessly. We're going into overtime.
NRG made G2 panic at the end there. Just tons of powerful hits towards their box, towards the back wall. G2 couldn't handle it. NRG on the attack again. Squishy pass over to Justin, taken away by JNaps. Drees up high, puts the ball down. Justin forced into retreat.
Jorby, they were facing match point. We're still on match point, and they get a buzzer beater.
Oh, I think they're like a game 7 more and more. What do you think?
Oh yeah,
they need a goal though.
I'm here for
here
it.
comes Drees. Can't get another touch. Squishy up quickly for that ball. JNaps puts this one up high. Here comes Drees, pass in front, but Chicago couldn't get to it in time. Pulled off on the play. Garrett back over to Justin.
Oh,
One
that
man
might
back,
be it.
But it's safe for Chicago. Play it back over to the side.
There's been a lot of space here for the defense. It seems like we've fallen back in that play style where it's counterattack attempt after counterattack attempt. People barely finding the last rotation. And this one, look at the space, Jorby. There's so much on the field. It's a very boomer ball focused game here in overtime.
Oh, another 52 for Justin, but Squishy's left flat in midfield. He has to wait. And he gets a good touch out back over to Justin. That's another good touch from Justin. Squishy, no chance at it. Justin has to move forward for NRG. Now, it's been a grinder today for NRG.
Oh,
what a shot, but it's just up high. Squishy puts it up for the 50. Justin, he basically wins the ball, but it's Chicago's. And Garrett's forced back to the corner. That's a good 50 again. I just don't know which way it's going to go. Whoever gets the par 50, I guess, is going to lose the game.
I mean, at this point, it feels like it's going to come down to a Squishy bump attempt because I've been seeing him constantly harass and chase down the G2 defense. We might see the same thing out at JNaps on offense, but either way, it's been a physical game. I feel like that trend's going to continue. Garrett G, he does get the stop. Drees looks for a big clear, doesn't find a teammate, and instead it's given right back to NRG.
Oh, Chicago. That pass was just a little too juicy. He wants another one. He gets the bump. Drees barreled down, and he got the demo onto Garrett. Another bump, but that was Squishy bumping the attacker. JNaps makes it work. That's Garrett G's ball. Chicago waits, sets up Drees for a touch. He gets it. JNaps is next up. Shot on target, saved by Squishy. Here's another one. Chicago got it over back to JNaps. Too light. Garrett G can handle it. Drees is playing it safe, and he's rewarded with another touch. But Squishy, no boost. Back over to Justin, and NRG needed that space. They were starting to run low on the tank. They all collect some canisters. Justin by himself bumps the player out of the way. Garrett waits. Garrett scores! NRG steal Neo Tokyo. We head to Champions Field.
We're going to game 7, and it's off a physical play from Justin, then the misplay out of Chicago, not finding the proper touch. A huge mistake, devastating to the mental game of G2, and that is not the way you want to send it into game 7.
Oh my goodness. What kind of energy is this, NRG? Are you kidding me?
I can't believe this.
Garrett had 6 saves alone. They had 10 as a team.
I have no words, Jorby. I feel like at this point, you never want to go up 3-1 against NRG. Just tie it up 2-2. It might give you a better chance because they somehow have found the secret sauce here, Jorby, to keep themselves in the running. This was supposed to be a G2 win, but the buzzer beater goes in favor of NRG. And the main thing that I noticed at that buzzer beater that I still have been thinking about to this point was the fact that NRG were prioritizing this dribble game for the buzzer beater. They knew that if they just kept going for these boomer hits, big clears to the other side, then G2 are just going to smack that ball down. But if we would look back and if we were to replay that, they were going for small touches, little dribbles to keep it within their control and get that buzzer beater. Clutch performance. G2 still look good. We're going to get one heck of a game 7.
We head to Champions Field for the first time in this grand final. Game 7 on Champions Field, presented by Verizon. Let's get underway. NRG have forced the decider game. And who takes it, Turtle? Well, let's find out. We're underway.
I have no idea. I mean, we talk a lot about NRG just because of the flashiness of the buzzer beater, but keep in mind, G2 were the people and the team that looked and were quite literally dominant in every part of the field. We just need to see that trend continue throughout the entire game. They lack control and spatial awareness of their teammates in that final minute. It's got to change up against this clutch NRG team.
Justin up high, but it's taken away by JNAPS. G2, most times they've been able to start the game out on offense. This time it's NRG. They got the first look at the net, couldn't get the best shot out of it, and now G2 are back in the blue half. JNAPS puts it by one defender, fighting off Squishy for the ball. Scrum in the corner for possession. It looks like it's going to be NRG. Garrett got a full tank of boost, pops it up once, but Drees is right there.
That was a huge play from Drees, assuming that Garrett G is going to go for the control. He does move forward and get a demo as well on Justin Drees. A lot of pressure on his shoulders. He's got to make things work. Support JNAPS in Chicago. Two monsters on offense who can do a lot of damage.
JNAPS puts that one over to Chicago. They'll get that quick pass. Both teams get that quick pass on defense.
Yeah.
They'll get that hard clear out. All right, let's see what the other team does with this ball. Just no one willing to really just go up, challenge midfield, because you feel like that counterattack is coming at any moment if you let off the gas just a little bit. But at the same time, also trying to create opportunities with bumps, demos, having a man downfield where the defense might not be expecting them. Here's a demo from G2. Chicago's got a little space, but he's challenged and the ball's knocked away.
And you saw what Chicago was going for there, a flip reset and then a pass drop down to Drees. The passing, though, continues for G2. It looks clean, it looks fluid here moving on to offense, but they haven't had a shot on net yet this entire game. 0 to their name.
G2, it looked clean from them at the start of this series. And it had looked like they were going to take Series 1 handily.
Oh.
But NRG just come roaring back. Justin rips one on target. 1-0.
Oh, this was a perfect 50-50 from Garrett G. He tried to squeeze that one out into the middle, knew Justin was on the other side, and thought, if I get this 50, squeeze just to the left of me, it might just work out. It does. Justin in position, slots it away. A beautiful attempt and a beautiful execution.
G2 just haven't been able to put it together. 2 minutes gone. No shots on net. Justin pops this one up high. Chicago puts it across, and it's only Chicago and Garrett G. Chicago puts it by, and it's too wide. Garrett avoiding all disaster there as Justin moves back down the field.
Accuracy falling a little bit short for G2. Still looking to get a demo play. Potentially, we've seen a lot of routine attempts on net where one player is going for a dribble, the other, somebody like JNAPS or Drees, is going for the bump. Maybe this one does fall in for Chicago. Nobody even had the confidence to meet him in the air.
Well, the answer for G2 has always been, is Chicago behind the ball for a shot? It's probably going in. That's beautiful placement from Chicago.
Yeah, and Garrett G, I thought maybe he didn't have any boost. He had 27 in the tank. Might have been able to get up for it, but still, I don't think that's enough to give you a lot of confidence, like I said, going into that challenge. A smart choice to stay grounded, but if Chicago's behind the ball, Jorby, it's over.
He's behind the ball this time, but little boost to work with. Squeezes that 50 against Garrett. G2 on the attack. Chicago playing enforcer. JNAPS forces the 50 up. Drees got a clean look at the net. He sees one touch, and he got a second. Back over to Justin, though.
A double commit from NRG.
Still
panicking a bit. Game 7.
Here's Drees. Double. Ooh, Chicago! Flex your guns. That's another one for the books.
And this one, a mistake from Garrett G, while it was a lovely double tap from Drees to set up Chicago the 50-50. Garrett G didn't get the forward flip into that challenge, hit the side of the ball, and it slips in. Pain for the NRG defense.
When you thought it was going to start on the right foot, you scored first, and G2 respond with a quick 2. Oh, Chicago's going to break that one up easily. JNAP's next one up. He's going to let that ball go and win a better 50 for it. NRG trying to find a way out, but G2 all over this. And Chicago was hoping that ball would fall down to him. JNAPS wins the 50 anyway. Chicago swings full 180 back over to the ball. He's going to let it drop. Double demo from Garrett and Drees. I'll look for Justin. Oh, Justin hits the wide angle. 2-2. Oh, my goodness.
And this is exactly what they needed. Garrett G with a demo play to open up space for none other than Justin off the corner. The exact read to find that shot and hit the angle.
That power, too.
Yeah.
Had everything going for it. NRG respond quickly. Garrett gets a quick save. He needs to make another one, but he gets bumped out of the way. And Chicago, another hat trick.
Oh, this has got to be such a frustrating moment for Garrett G. He did what he needed to, finding the touch, winning the challenge, but then he got bumped away, Jorby, by the follow-up player on G2.
He still made the attempt after the bump too. He still got the touch onto the ball. He had enough boost to recover, but by that point it was already too late. He was halfway in his own net.
It looks like they're even trying to tilt Garrett G. He got taken out again off the kickoff. The man can barely stay alive on the field.
He's gonna try again here. Kicks it up high. Drees has space. He just gives it up to Justin. Justin got the catch. Flips over Chicago. Squishy's playing this wide.
Garrett G's gone.
Touch, and Garrett's gone, like you said, but he's going to back Squishy. Back over to Garrett.
Okay,
Squishy.
G.
Full tank. Flip reset. Justin's there. Plays it underneath. Justin, big 50. How is that ball not in the net? Oh, Chicago's running away with it. G2 with 30 seconds left. It's not a tie game. Garrett G flying across. Can't get the touch. How is it not a tie game? Popped up again, JNF. A save from Justin to keep NRG within one, but time's running out. They don't have enough.
Here we go.
Squishy back to the corner. He needs a solid touch. Garrett. Oh, they can't even get a handle on the ball. G2, they're swarming.
They've done it before. They can do it again.
Here it comes. They've been good at the 0-second drill all weekend long. Here comes Justin. Again, that's not the best touch, and it's right over NRG. G2 survive the tide. Take the first series.
And it was within inches in that final moment where Justin won the 50-50. He got the dunk, but it went off the post. G2 hang on by a thread, winning the first best of 7. Chicago, a hat trick to his name. 4 shots, 3 goals, only 2 saves out of G2, and they were taking out Garrett G all game long, trying to delete him from the pitch.
Multiple hat tricks. He had 2. And then he scored, I'm pretty sure he scored multiple times in other games. I don't think he got hat tricks in more than 2. But NRG Turtle, they did so good to come back into that game. And game 7 comes, they score first, and you're thinking,
I got to see this play again.
NRG are clutching it up. Yeah.
Wait, I need to see if. Oh my goodness, I'm crying. I'm crying right now.
You're crying.
Because it went off the post. It went off the post.
It did, but
I don't know how
it kind of shuffled, you know?
It was insane. It was insane. Justin had the perfectly timed dunk as well to get the follow-up, to push it into the back of the net. NRG were giving it their all. G2, they are here to play, and they're ready for a grand final spectacular performance, because not only do they fend off NRG, who statistically now in this tournament alone have made that 3-1 comeback consistently, they look good doing it too, Jorby.
They really do, Turtle. G2, Chicago especially, looks absolutely insane. We haven't called Jane Apps' name out enough. I feel like he's been playing solid. Drees has been playing solid. It takes a full team effort to win a regional in North America. They got to do it again. The second series of the grand finals coming up after the break.
You know how some carriers give you so little for your older busted phone you just end up living with it? I don't think so. Verizon lets you trade in your broken phone for a shiny new one. You break it, we upgrade it. You dunk it, doggy bone it, slam it, wham it, strawberry jam it. We upgrade it.
Get a 5G phone on us with select plans.
Every customer, current, new, or business.
Because everyone deserves better. And with plans starting at just $35, better costs less than you think.
She found a way into my heart. Oh, She don't make out, no, she make art. And I need a way to treat it, cause I keep getting high off of her. Off of her. I know that you'd be bad from the minute I saw you. But somehow I keep running back to you. Back to you. Back to feeling lonely, hey. And hearing music that can make me smile. But the way I feel with her cannot be explained. But one thing still remains on my mind. I know that you'd be bad from the minute I saw you. But somehow I keep running back to you. Back to you.
You know how some carriers give you so little for your older busted phone you just end up living with it? I don't think so. Verizon lets you trade in your broken phone for a shiny new one. You break it, we upgrade it.
You dunk it, doggy bone it.
Slam it, wham it, strawberry jam it. We upgrade it.
Get a 5G phone on us with select plans.
Every customer, current, new, or business.
Because everyone deserves better. And with plans starting at just $35, better costs less than you think.
Welcome back to the Rocket League Championship Series, brought to you by Verizon. You're watching day 3 of the Haunted Hallows Cup, and we are into the grand finals here. I'm Leif alongside me, Daz, Wave Punk, and a Cheese.
I forgot he was a
Still can't get over the snowman.
I forgot. I genuinely forgot.
Surprise snowman yet again.
I got you.
Jeez, talk to me about this, because it looked like G2 was about to steamroll, and all of a sudden NRG came bouncing back.
Nah, man, no need to worry. We all knew G2 was gonna win the first series. It all went according to plan, at least until NRG started winning games.
Yeah.
It got real scary. I mean, when finally NRG gets their hands stuck into an offense, I mean, all day it's kind of just been like, yeah, we're playing defense, and it's kind of meh. But they do always tend to capitalize so well whenever G2 overextend themselves, and that really is what got them back into this series. And of course, you turn in a couple of 0-second goals to make it even more interesting.
Yeah, oh man, the 0-second goal at game 6 officially for 20 seconds they kept that ball in the air. So that one was a beauty, getting the win as well. And with how close game 7 is, I am so excited for the second series.
Oh, we can hear him.
No. Okay.
Really great point, Daz. Really great point.
So, okay. So you have the G2 counter, or the NRG counter attack when G2 overextends, but then you also have that G2 offensive style. Torment tweeted out a picture of it. It's hilarious, where G2 just rushes at you. They get the ball, lead block in front. Hopefully you can make the save in time, but usually you don't. And it's working out really well for them. But you alluded to it. NRG starting to come back.
Yeah, no, that was that's what happened there. But I want to recap something else here, because there was another highlight of that last series. Yeah, it was his outfit here. Joby coming in as an MMO character.
Look at the stats. The A+ Coda cast, and that's why he's in the grand finals.
I like the shades are shouting.
Oh,
that's
goodness.
good. Yeah, that's quality.
How much was that hat of height?
I was about to say, I'm amazed the headphones fit so smoothly after it.
Yeah.
That
it goes under the hat, like it goes over the hat. The hat looks as good as it does with the headphones.
I wish I could buy my headset over this hat.
For real,
that's not working too well over here. But we'll see him in a few seconds here. But we gotta talk about this next one coming up here. So we got one down. Remember, guys, this is the best of set. You have to win 2 best of 7s to continue on. So NRG and G2 have to duke it out again here. And I want to see now if there's any flippers here. So we're gonna ask the chat first. Time for the Verizon fan vote. See if anybody's switching over there. I think it was very much in favor of NRG on that last one. I think it was around 70% or so. We'll see if that gets a little closer here, because that was a very close series. While you guys are doing that in chat, we need to see if anything happens on the desk. We already had a few people saying this would happen. I know Daz and a Cheese both said G2 is going to take the first one, but that's going to turn around a Cheese. Are you following through with what you said before?
Yes. I didn't care how the first series played out. We're flipping it around. Now we're going NRG's winning 2 straight.
Okay. All right. Get that flip over there. Wow. Wave. What are you saying here?
I said that the advantage NRG had coming into this series was that they would be able to acclimate over time. The marathon would play into their hands. That series we just watched, just because they didn't win that final game 7 doesn't change anything for me. That game 6 into the game 7, I love what I saw from NRG. Sticking with them.
Okay, Dazarin.
Oh, this is tough.
It is, because G2 look good, right?
No, it's not.
They looked good, and we were right on that one. But I'm gonna. Oh, it's something speaking to me.
What is it?
Real heady vibe.
Let it out.
It's James, and it's the general. They're telling me to flip. I've got to flip.
Let's go.
I'm going NRG.
Let's go.
Flip it around. We're gonna take this next series. Well, I was out of my mind. I think somebody casted a spell on me in the first one, but we're back. We're back, and we're in the driver's seat. Let's go.
The spell is out. We got rid of it here, and again, my thing was that G2 would take 1, and then NRG. I didn't know if that became 1 or 2. They took their 1, which means there's no reason for me to switch either, and we've just cursed them. We just
game over.
Wow. We just ruined them. Chat, balance it out.
Series 2 confirmed.
Barely
actually went
changed.
down.
Barely though. 5% lower. I guess that's enough.
There's a
That-
couple
that-
people
that's-
in chat that realize that the statistical possibility is
Yeah.
a little lower than they'd like it to be.
Well, we have to get her going. We'll see if it ends here over in the Verizon Skybox. Turtle and Jorby are waiting while G2 looked like they had this in the bag. NRG woke up by the end of the first series. The question is, will they keep their eyes open for another one, or will G2 take the crown for the Haunted Hallows Cup?
The first regional, the North American Open, went all 3 series. Will we get a repeat of that? Will NRG make the comeback here in this best of 7? They've got their work cut out for them, Turtle, because G2 are aggressive on the pitch. Demos, bumps, whatever way they can take you out, they're going to do it. We're underway.
And they've got that strategy of sending one player forward, being the lead blocker, taking out a player, or at least making him jump or get out of position. Meanwhile, the second man back is just dribbling that ball, riding it home, and just securing the shot. So we'll see if we get that same strategy here. As G2 put an early shot in, Drees. He's on fire time and time again.
That was a great setup from Chicago, too. Justin tried to get that clear out, but it was a perfect bounce for Drees, and he still had to hit that with purpose. Garrett got a touch on it, and it's the power that makes it sink.
Well, and the crazy thing about the G2 striking in the previous series and now continuing the trend in game 1 with Drees. Wait, hold on a second. This is the same strategy.
Goodness.
This is what I'm talking about. G2, they get one player behind the ball, they hit the brakes, and they say, okay, you take out the goalkeeper, I'll just steadily dribble this ball in.
I can't believe Justin has to be so upset right now. You're expecting that quick hit from Drees. But like you said, he hits the brakes, and G2 really want to play this game right now. It's working.
And with how routine this is, the only answer for NRG is to try and challenge that shot early. You have to either dodge the demo and then get the pre-jump save, or be early enough with the read on the play to challenge the dribble. G2, they're on another level, Jorby. 3 goals.
NRG reeling on the cams a little bit after that goal. 3 of them in the first minute. It doesn't stop for G2. 5 shots already in the opening minute.
Well,
that's tough for NRG. That's a tough break.
That is incredible from G2, and especially in series number 2, where you would expect things to start shifting, towards NRG's side, just because of the stamina, the endurance. They've been here more, yada, yada, yada. I'm sure everybody's heard enough of it, okay? That's what's expected. But then you come out here in game number 2, or series number 2, and game 1, and you storm the pitch on offense with these incredible shots. That's a statement.
Oh, that one's just squishy, and finally NRG cracked through G2.
This one looked like a pinch, actually. I'm not sure how he got so much power. Chicago was going for a slower touch there from Drees, who panicked a bit, trying to get that ball out. And yes, it did squeeze off, I believe, the hood of J-Naps, giving Squishy that extra power to send it in.
It couldn't have been a worse first minute for NRG, but you start the next minute as well as you possibly could with a goal. But here comes J-Naps. Light shot turned away by Garrett. Chicago's just waiting there. Drees almost got a hattie, and it's taken away.
It's a pinch from Garrett G off the post. Squishy's on the other side. 9 boost, but he's going to be aggressive, take the corner one, and Garrett G's left to try to handle this on his own. Good touches from G2, and that's the only concerning thing, Jorby, is how they handle those clears. A lot of times they'll find their own teammates, but like we just saw, they can tend to give that away right to NRG.
Yeah, I mean, J-Naps was reading that pass too. Garrett connected. Maybe he gets the block, but at the same time, that could have been with some power. They all got caught out. And it bounces out off the post. No break for NRG, but Garrett G, he's got a hammer, and he cracks right through the wall.
And this is some rough positioning here from G2, all of them panicking, and you can see they're all in the same spot. It was almost a triple commit. Literally, they synced up, synchronized swimming here for G2 on defense, and NRG are left to punish.
The Torment's picture apparently applicable in all areas of the pitch. G2 definitely, when they scrambled as a unit.
Yeah.
That's how we're going to put that one. But they're so good at moving down the field with purpose with each other.
Oh, they're deadly when they're spaced out, too. If they can just find that rotation that doesn't, step on each other's toes, we might see G2 walk away with the grand finals, Jorby. They're already up in this set.
NRG have 2 unanswered against them. And with a little bit more time, they could find a clear. Instead, it's a miss, and luckily Garrett was there to clean it up. Garrett, long pass over to nobody. You can't find it off the ceiling. It's just a free counterattack, and Justin picks up the save, but you saw Justin and Squishy just kind of sit there and wait. They weren't sure exactly how G2 were going to approach it, and they got a free counterattack out of it. It should have been a fourth goal almost, but Justin made a great heroic save.
Well, and that's why that 2-on-1 where one player's demoing strategy works so well for G2 is because NRG like to wait to see what type of shot they're going to get on their own net, and G2 know of that. They know the space that can be granted to them if they are patient underneath the ball.
Nice catch from Drees and another flick shot. And off the post. No goal, but Chicago, he found the ball, taken away by Garrett. Next up is Squishy. He lets it go. And he's rewarded with Justin's clear. G2 looking for a way out. The demo apt for G2 to get back to. Chicago wins the 50, but this is actually Garrett's ball. Garrett, little bit of boost. Uses what he can to feather. Gets the bump. Goal! Tied game. Great work from Garrett G.
Some revenge for NRG on the physical side of things. Garrett G took this one himself, got a solid 50-50. In fact, he actually faked out Drees, then continues forward for the bump, setting up Squishy. All tied up in a game that seemed to be dominant by G2. NRG trail, but still find their way back to a tied game.
Yeah, after, 45 seconds, and then G2 had a 3-goal lead. That's evaporated. They haven't scored since. J-Naps pitches that one across. Chicago comes up early, but Justin gets behind him. Squishy able to get that clear out. G2 forced back onto their own half to commit for this one, and both of them missed, but the shot's not going to come. They weren't ready for it. Squishy going to pop this one up. He's got plenty of boost off the ceiling. Shot just a little high, and Garrett has to wait for G2. And he's just rewarded with the ball. NRG are finding space where they shouldn't be, and they've almost scored because of it.
That was a scary play from Squishy Muffins. You can see what he was going for, carrying that ball all the way up to the ceiling, then using the ceiling to jump down on the ball and spike it towards the net. G2, will we see another panicked play where they're all in the same position? There's been more and more space granted to NRG. It's not looking good.
What are these 50s from NRG? They're scooping the ball out from under G2's cars. This time, Chicago. He's caught by Justin. J-Naps has Drees downfield, and Garrett picks up the save. Pops it up high in front of the box. Squishy sets it down. A perfect touch for Garrett G. End of regulation looming. Garrett off the corner. Oh, he just missed it.
Squishy's
there. He just missed it. Justin has to wait, and he's got to play it across. Time running out for NRG to end it now in game one. Squishy, good catch. Good delivery in front to Justin. Justin pops it high. Drees takes the ball away from him. Garrett's too slow. Ball on the ground. No, Chicago gets the pinch out. We got overtime.
And I got reminded of the previous series where we saw Garrett G do the same thing Squishy just tried to do. Force a 50-50 across the net. So tactical with their challenges, but you're going to be met with J-Naps being aggressive here as we get into overtime.
Another clear for Garrett. Met with a boomer from Drees. They need to be solid in these corners. They can't let one ball slip. Otherwise, that ball's going to be in the back of their net. Chicago light shot taken away by Justin, but still a precarious position for NRG. Drees pops it against the corner. Justin's got no boost left. Chicago catches it underneath. Forces the 50 against Squishy. It's not enough, though. They need another chance at it. Garrett pushes that ball out. Shot on target. J-Naps on the rotation back. There comes another one from Justin to Squishy. Denied again. Hanging in front of the box. On target. NRG take game one.
Justin and Squishy, the back-to-back combo here with the passing. Justin all the way over to Squishy, who wins the 50-50, and Justin is left with a clear shot right at the net. It was a tough angle, and Justin could have quite easily gone for that corner boost. Instead, of course, made the right decision to shoot.
But why are G2 triple committing more than one time in a game?
It's crazy. It's crazy.
There was like 3 times in that game that they're double committing for the ball. All 3 of them should not be jumping at it. Like, that was straight up rookie mistake from G2. Like, it was one guy Squishy making that 50. Somebody's got to talk and say, I got it. And somebody's got to have the wherewithal to stay on the ground. That cannot keep happening for G2.
It's coming down to the positioning for G2. If they're not spaced out, sometimes you don't even see your teammates, and if the communication isn't spot on, you are going to double commit, and that's what we're seeing here for G2. There's a situation, all 3 of them in the same spot. Then as we get more into the replays, all 3 of them on the same rotation on the right side of the field, Jorby. G2 don't want to spread out from each other. It's because they like those plays where they're close, they can go for small little touches between each other, and of course, set up that tactical demo play where one player's in front, one's behind. But that comes at a cost, Jorby, and that's where
Yeah.
you're all in the same spot.
It's a high-risk play style. It's why we see
Yeah.
G2 score so many goals in bunches like we do, but then fall flat other times, and you're you're left scratching your head being like, you guys a little more, like, you weren't able to get that clear? Why are we triple committing? I truly think that's the only thing for G2. They can play bunched up all they want,
Yeah.
but the communication has to be perfect if you want to play like that. NRG taking game 1. We're on Forbidden Temple.
Here we go.
G2, they got a quick 3 spot, but NRG had 4 unanswered against them now.
That's a ridiculous comeback, too, when you think about it. I mean, 3 goals, and then NRG just somehow find a way to get back into the game. Here they are to start game 2 off on the right foot.
Garrett G putting this one in easily. Squishy got it out, and Chicago went for the corner boost. It was JNAPS and Drees who ended up doubling up in midfield, but JNAPS or Chicago had left for that corner boost expecting a better 50 to come out. It never did and left the net wide open.
And maybe this is an issue with having more people and players on G2 be aggressive. I talked about how typically we'd see Chicago get really aggressive, find some demos. I've seen JNAPS be much more physical this entire series, and I'd say tournament long, but everything comes with a price, and that could just be your positioning.
Right? I mean, it could be like Chicago gets that boost steal. If there's a 50, then he roams back around, and we're talking about how amazing G2's aggression is, right? It's just one missed 50 can be the difference between a potent G2 attack or a floppy G2 defense. Chicago gonna push that one out, but Garrett there to cut it off.
It seems like whenever NRG try to fight fire with fire and Garrett G starts getting physical, Squishy is taking more boost, that's when things start to level out and you'll see G2 panic more. And speaking of aggression, Garrett G was going for a demo play on the last man back. Justin looking to take this one to the midfield, maybe a pass back to Squishy, the dynamic duo in set number 2.
Chicago up for that one quickly. But Garrett, he's locked down midfield on the last several touches. He's going to play enforcer. Justin won't get another chance at the ball. JNAPS does a great job trapping that and a perfect touch to give it to Chicago.
Garrett G, the follow-up on the sidewall. There's space here. This is the classic play. Drees went for the bump, but didn't find it. And NRG have a really easy route to get that one out of their half.
Squishy has the read off the ceiling, and Chicago. He's going to keep it himself off the corner for Garrett, but it was taken away by Drees. And NRG just locking down midfield. Justin, a little bit of boost. JNAPS actually had enough to contend with him. Chicago gets over one. Chicago, another one, but Drees was playing a little bit closer to it, so he's not going to have a chance at the net. But still, G2 starting to press in that classic G2 fashion. Chicago off the back wall. Shot. Oh, saves. JNAPS couldn't get another one. Chicago and Drees have to wait. Drees shakes the ball off of one, but Garrett flies up quickly, gets the clear for NRG.
And notice how JNAPS right there in that situation, he's forced to rush back and get a follow-up. Speaking of follow-up, Garrett G almost had the flick from the corner. Oh my goodness, they were so close. And then he hits the brakes and finds a 50-50. And again, look, G2 all 3 in the same spot, Jorby.
I don't know how Garrett is getting in front of the ball as well as he is. But he has kept NRG in this. Squishy, just missing that touch from Justin. Another one for Garrett. It's nothing really working there for NRG. They're forced back to their own wall. And G2 are going to wait for the response. Chicago a little slow on that one. It was a good touch from Squishy.
It does feel like Garrett G has taken a different approach on the challenges. I was actually critiquing him in the previous series where he was losing pretty regularly the 50-50s, and Chicago gets the demo. Okay, here we go. The formation has started for G2. Maybe they'll make something out of it. No, of course, Squishy the read. What a pass forward to intercept everything G2 had to offer.
And Chicago, he's going to let that one down for JNAPS. But that G2 offense has been lackluster. Only 2 shots on net so far. Here comes a third. No, Justin right there to cut it off. Drees kicking this one up high and fast. Underneath Justin. Pass over to Chicago. Denied by Garrett. JNAPS last man back. Justin's in the air. JNAPS plays it safely to the corner.
A nice touch there from Justin to Squishy in the midfield, but Squishy didn't bite. Decided to go back and let G2 clear it right to Garrett G, who gets another interception.
Wow.
All 3 players pushed up from G2, and it's thanks to Garrett G on this fantastic read.
Garrett has been roaming around this pitch. He's got his mark on every single player on this pitch, and the rhythm is Garrett right now on Forbidden Temple.
Absolutely. It's such a smart play from Garrett, too, because He obviously knows he's not going to outpace whoever that last man back was, but instead puts himself in between, playing man coverage on the pitch to make sure G2 don't connect anything moving forward.
Here's Garrett again, who just punches it. Squishy cuts this one off. Wow, NRG have just handled these G2 clears with authority. They really haven't been able to sneak past anyone who's in midfield on NRG. That's not the best touch. Garrett sweeps around. Garrett, no chance. Chicago's going to take that one away. But Justin, next up. That's a good touch. Garrett playing demo man.
And
he got one.
it.
Leaves it for Squishy. He's got all day. He says, no, Squishy, this is my goal. He gets his second.
Squishy could have taken a nap with how much time he had to not only watch this unfold, but to even swipe it from Justin. I mean, literally, you take one player out from G2, and the entire field is yours. 2 players bid on the earlier challenge. NRG, 3-0, 27 seconds left. They started off game 1 very poorly, but they have switched things up.
G2 have just been flat. Their offense has not worked. They've even gone for those bumps and demos, but they just haven't had the possession to create any value out of them. Maybe they get something at the end here, but it's a formality on Forbidden Temple. Garrett G just trying to control the ball, and Turtle, G2, a hole now. They've dug themselves down 0-2 in the second series.
Ooh, maybe a follow-up there for JNAPS would have been great going into the next game. They need something, Jorby. Any type of change in their play style. I personally think it would be better to have a much more defensive mindset if you're G2. That previous aggressive play, it's not working. And we've actually just been informed that there is a timeout for G2. We'll see what they have to say.
G2, I think this is the right call. We see the timeout come out a lot of times when you go down 0-2 in a best of 7. It's it really, in my opinion, it's the best call to make. You don't want to take the timeout down 0-3 because that doesn't really give you enough time to adjust after you take that 60-second mental reset.
Yeah, I mean, 60 seconds sometimes is not enough, especially when things are not going your way. There were chances here for G2, 4 shots, 0 goals. A couple of solid attempts. There was that routine demo play, but it didn't yield anything. Meanwhile, NRG, 1 demo and they had all the space in the world. You think back to that play where Garrett G got the demo and Justin literally had so much time just to put it away here, Jorby.
And for NRG, it was so much more offense than we saw from them. Like, they commanded midfield. In Garrett G, it was just Garrett. Every time NRG seemed like they were about to be pushed back into their own half, Garrett was there in midfield, commanding the pace of play. And when Garrett's commanding the pace of play, you just can't get by him. Like, G2 couldn't buy a 50-50, Turtle.
Which is something we couldn't say in the previous series. It was just Garrett G constantly losing challenges, mostly when he was in his own net, though. Maybe it's a bit of a more aggressive approach from Garrett G to control that midfield, and here he is right there, putting 1 shot in from the midfield. Again, getting past 1 defender, almost found that angle there on the dribble. He's going for the demo. Garrett G, all of these replays we've seen, it's Garrett G, like you said, Jorby. He's leading the way. He is the man who's putting the team in his backpack and just charging forward at the G2 defense.
You know, he's put one of these on and said, deal with it. Garrett roaming around the pitch. I think NRG had something to say about how that first series went.
Absolutely.
And got out to a much faster start. Game number 3 underway. It's G2 who have to respond to NRG.
I mean, what kind of playstyle shift are they going to go for? What did they talk about in the timeout? Will they be less aggressive, maybe stop relying on those demos and look to pass it into the midfield more? They need to space out, need to dominate this field and not get steamrolled by Garrett G like that with a 50-50.
Justin waiting for it. Chicago gets on top of him.
Oh my goodness.
Goes right back to Garrett. And he knows he's got to beat JNAPS on the ball, but JNAPS is happy to leave it for Drees. G2, this is a good start for them.
Yeah.
They can find command to midfield early. They might be able to score. But Squishy's got a full tank downfield. He's got a free look. Another touch for him. And that's just going to set G2 up for a clear. But Justin wins the touch. G2 just a little bit slower on defense. Doesn't matter, though. They do get the clear downfield.
Well, we're not seeing that same level of speed that we initially saw from G2 in the first series. Chicago felt like he was winning every challenge and followed up beautifully from JNAPS and Drees, who were speedy themselves. But Garrett G, look at the counterattack. Nobody's there, even on the backboard. G2 cannot respond in time against NRG.
They needed Chicago to come in. G2 were sitting on very low boosts. They couldn't commit to it. They had to watch Garrett, and Chicago had to be the one to get to that ball. They were already facing that pressure from NRG, despite not staying in the orange half that long.
Nobody's ready to challenge. As soon as NRG are on the attack on offense or transition even, it seems like nobody wants to go for a challenge. Nobody's in position here, Jorby.
Drees next up, but Squishy just gets a clean touch off of him. Justin, another 50. He's got no boost, though. Can't do any more. NRG trying to get set up in the orange half. Garrett even picking up a demo onto JNAPS. There's nobody waiting for that ball. Squishy, first up for this one. Justin's there quickly. Shot on in for Justin. NRG, first goal.
And this is the difference maker. Look at Squishy, so fast to get up in the air, off the ceiling, setting up Justin. Drees is left in no man's land. Barely any boost to his name to make that save. It's too much of a challenge for him. He can't find it. NRG, they are on a tear, Jorby.
Garrett's behind the ball, pushes it forward, sets up Squishy. Chicago gets there in time. Garrett still setting up quality opportunities. Here's Chicago, puts it underneath.
There it is.
And what a save from Squishy. Back over to the corner for him. It's Drees, but nobody's ready for it for G2. That means Garrett's get a free clear downfield. JNAPS kept it close, and Justin didn't want to commit on that play. He wasn't sure how it was going to come out. He only had 13 boosts to his name, and I think 0 actually right before the touch came. G2 get another chance at it. Squishy gets kicked off, and Garrett gets a massive clear.
Oh, and that's a huge safety net from Garrett G. Communication spot on for NRG. Squishy wasn't going to get a touch. Garrett G bailed him out. Lovely play. And that's just proof that NRG are feeling confident. But there is a challenge. That's what I was waiting for from G2, to meet the counterattack with a challenge. That's what's needed. But again, unanswered here as Chicago's forced to get the touch.
Squishy was downfield waiting for it too. I think that came down a little fast or a little longer than he had been expecting. Either way.
Chicago.
NRG kind of laid off the gas. I'm not going to say lay off the gas. It's probably the wrong way to put that. But they're going back to, let them get that quick clear. We'll rotate back. We'll get the solid boomer out. But here's Justin in front. He didn't have to make the save. Garrett pops it right over one. Back over to Justin. He pops it over two. Justin touch in front. Garrett couldn't get the bump on the Drees, and now he's got a turnaround back to JNAPS. Squishy couldn't cut him out. Garrett comes in to play it back to the corner. Justin, a full tank, lobs it back downfield.
G2, I mean, they're looking better and better each time they transition forward, winning challenges. Here's Drees now to beat out Squishy, but Squishy has been very decisive on defense, choosing most of the time, I'd say, not to go for the challenge, instead play the safer route. Hold the team down on defense, let Justin and Garrett G do what they do best, be aggressive, and then come in for the finish. There's Squishy Muffins.
Pixel perfect placement from Squishy. Garrett gets the pinch, makes it awkward for Drees, and that corner absolutely destroyed him. Forces the poor touch out of the last defender, and it was easy pickings for Squishy Muffins.
An unsung hero right now, I'd say, Jorby, is Squishy Muffins. It's incredible to see the patience that I have in this game alone from him. 50 seconds, though. That's a disaster for NRG's defense. Will this shift anything for the G2?
Oh, if you're Garrett, you're really not expecting that ball to come straight down onto your nose. But Drees was just a little off on the 50. Justin hits the ball into him. Great pass from Drees to Garrett.
Oh, but it's good. If you're an NRG fan, though, you see smiles all over the faces of NRG, who Justin actually would have saved Garrett in the chat. So definitely a lighthearted style here from NRG. They're not taking it as serious as they could, and maybe that'll help them here in the last 35 seconds.
Just my Justin almost wrapped around the entire pitch himself. Garrett has the net, but it's taken away by Drees. Squishy forcing the ball around two G2 defenders. Now turned into attackers. Drees gets demoed. Uh-oh. Here comes JNAPS. Got the first, and the second, and the third, and the ball. Oh, no. It's taken out. The net's open. JNAPS coming back. Pops it up above the crossbar. Shot from Garrett. Underneath. Taken away by Chicago. Last chance for G2.
Final
down the
seconds.
field. Chicago slips
They can do
underneath. He slips another 50 through. He scored all day for G2. Can he set his team up for this?
Oh, that's
fast
it.
on zero. Taken away from Garrett. He picked up the save. It's not over just yet. Squishy puts it on the ground. One away from NRG, forcing a third series.
Oh my, Garrett G. The save to keep NRG in the lead. There was even a demo. I'm not sure who it was on from G2, but it opened up the path. Garrett G, I didn't even see him pre-jump to get the save, and that was a dire moment out of NRG. Garrett G comes out clutch. He has been leading the charge everywhere, Jorby. Garrett
Captain
G,
Clutch.
he's literally the theme for this entire series.
If Chicago was the theme for G2 in Series 1, Garrett G is certainly the theme for NRG.
Oh, yeah.
In Series 2.
Even on his own net, he's scoring goals. The man can't stop.
The tactical timeout, giving G2 at least one more chance at it. They took it last time. They can't take it again.
Oh, man.
And they might get swept. This is quite the response from NRG.
Jorby, I have a problem here. See,
yeah, what's your problem, Turtle?
This is so stressful. My scar is starting.
Put your
my
glasses off.
scar is starting to smear off.
Put it on.
Stressful, bro. They don't fit my head. They don't fit my head.
They look great, Turtle. They look great, man. I don't know what you're talking about. I can see perfectly through these shades. I don't see why they don't fit my head either. You see how long they are? You see how long these
You
are?
look beautiful. These they
So do you.
They don't work.
So
it
do
doesn't
you.
fit. But you know what does fit in rotation? Every single person on NRG. It's flawless, Jordan.
They certainly have looked that way in Series 2. G2 got
mind.
something to say about it. JNaps gets the goal on the kickoff.
And this is the best start now for JNaps. Chicago on the demo. JNaps with the early shot. And maybe they're not going to slow things down like they usually do. And they're going to go for a much faster approach.
Just also keep in mind, G2 scored 3 times in a minute and NRG still won. So it may not matter how many times they score. They still have to worry about NRG. Here's Drees.
Go, Drees.
Good catch.
What you got?
On the feather. And it's taken away by Justin. Uh-oh.
Oh,
Ill
not the
advice
best
touch from
touch.
Chicago. JNaps couldn't wrap around on it. Could understand the idea. The risk crisis averted, if you will.
G2 like to go for that clear route where they have a small little pass across their own net. It's risky, but it can create a really solid counterattack. However, NRG, sometimes they can catch on to it. Fortunately for G2, they didn't that time.
Another trap here for G2. This is a good opening minute for them. They've trapped the ball a couple times in midfield. They've got a couple of plays like this, and while the backboard has been fairly unavailable, you love the press. Drees punching that one against the corner. You might not get an infield pass every time you wrap around, but it's just that one touch you're waiting for that gives that gap. And you're talking about that gap, Turtle. G2 will shoot right through it as soon as they see it. That one was squishy. He found the gap. Tie game.
And we're going to see how this one develops from Garrett G in the corner. We've got Chicago looking for a clear out. He wanted to force a 50, but it's Garrett G on a challenge in series number 2. There is no possibility that you win it, Jorby. It's just not possible.
I'm talking about him being the unsung hero, but I think some people are starting to sing for him. Squishy coming alive in the set.
One thing I did notice from G2 in the true neutral game, Jorby, sorry, as we get into this one. Against true neutral, I noticed G2 like to go for these drop down passes. Right now they're hammering the backboard, but against true neutral, there were a couple of chances where they just smack a ball down and Justin gets a crazy pre-jump save. So I'd like to see that more. Something creative. That's not just a routine, okay, off the backboard, let's see if we can follow up. It almost worked. It almost works for Drees, but not close enough.
What? I thought that one was going to be it for sure. But JNaps behind the ball. Drees with the goal. Almost with the goal. Chicago there. And Garrett. He's impenetrable. He picks up another save. The lone man in net. And somehow he comes away with the save.
That should have been a goal. That 100% should have found the back of the net, regardless of the pre-jump, regardless of the save. G2 need that accuracy if they want to bring this series back.
Oh my goodness. Squishy puts in his second one. The roving band here in the orange half. They just won't leave. Garrett creating so much value. Chicago out of the play. You cannot stop Garrett God right now.
He's eating a sensu bean. He's going crazy. He has leveled up, about to go Super Saiyan. Garrett G, he is popping off in series number 2. He's not playing Mr. Nice Guy anymore here, Jorby.
Not at all. What a pinch from Chicago. But Garrett puts it right over to the side. Chicago, or JNAB's setting up Chicago. That's hard off the backboard. And Drees takes a little bit of time. Squishy waits on the back wall, and he picks up the save. Another chance here in front. Justin misses it, and Chicago punishes him. G2 tie it up.
And a rare moment where we see Garrett G unable to find a challenge. Justin didn't even get a single touch on the ball. He expected it to hit the crossbar and go down. That's what his positioning was perfect for, but it didn't happen, forcing Garrett G in an awkward spot. Can't find any contact. G2, they've tied it up. We've been singing a lot of the praise for NRG, but maybe things switch up.
Here's a carry from Justin. G2, they're ready to move downfield. They just want the 50 to do it. They need the green light. Chicago may give it to Drees here. Sets it underneath, taken away by Garrett G. He's been a stoplight all day. Oh, that's in.
And
what a save from Chicago. Close.
We have not seen too much positional errors out of G2 in this game, which is definitely a big bonus and something to applaud if you're a G2 fan. Maybe they can build off of that. JNAP's just forcing himself to go for a pinch. It doesn't go his way. Garrett G takes out a player, and there's space for Squishy to do some work.
Oh, JNAP squeezes through 2 NRG cars. But Squishy don't even have to leave the corner to get that ball out to midfield. Oh, you see Garrett try to crash that ball. Justin lost his 50. This could be a chance for G2. Up high, Drees off the steal. Misses the touch. Garrett's left frozen, and Squishy can back him up and win another 50. Justin's got the boost. He has the shot. Oh! Justin takes NRG in the lead.
And it's picture-perfect placement, all from the 50-50s from Squishy Muffins on defense. Off the sidewall, you hit the left side of the net if you're Justin, and you've got an easy 3-2 performance here from NRG.
Are we looking at a Series 2 sweep from NRG? A minute left.
I think so.
G2 going to try to push, but again, they haven't had any success on that back wall. Here's a pass. That might work. Oh, Drees popped it up. It's a little too high for JNAPS. NRG can get reset. Chicago wins the touch. JNAPS, the boost spawns right after he leaves. Chicago picked that one up. Drees leaves it for Chicago. Denied by Garrett G. Not the worst strategy to give the ball and feed it to Chicago. He has been lights out in striking today, but Justin just will not let the ball go in the back of the net. Garrett puts it over and taken away by Drees.
That was such a fast shot put on from Garrett G in the midfield. Squishy, he's up early for that challenge. He's been dominant all game long. Garrett G is so quick to get that shot towards the back of the net. G2 Esports, it looks like they have a slight chance, but then you've got Garrett G to smack him back down.
Beautiful shot from Garrett. Drees couldn't get to the ball. G2 out of sorts on the defensive line. It's too early to call Series 2. G2 still got a chance. They just have to score with time left. Chicago pops this high.
Oh, man.
JNAPS doesn't get a solid touch. Chicago gets another 50. In front for Drees, taken away by none other than Garrett G. Squishy puts this one out. Drees is there, and JNAPS is in front, but they were already up for it, and Justin got the clear. Chicago another chance, but guess who's there? Garrett G puts another one down.
And a double.
Time's running out. It's not enough time on the clock. Drees can't get it done. G2 swept in Series 2. We're heading to a decider series.
NRG have such a thick line of defense. You get through one player on a 50-50, but then you're met with Garrett G or Justin with a pre-jump. If you get through that player, then there's another one left on defense to have a goal line save, or at least an attempt to save your shot. A ridiculous performance, and a dominant one at that, from NRG in Series number 2.
Completely different NRG from Series 1. They were much more confident on the attack. And we were talking about it. Yeah, we're going to gush about it more, Turtle. Garrett G, the conductor of Series 2.
Oh, yeah.
I can't count how many times he set NRG up. Even if they didn't score, he was still setting them up for success. And
Absolutely.
Squishy and Justin played lights out. Nothing but quality touches from them. They really had G2 wrapped around their finger.
It does feel like Squishy Muffins has been the glue, though. While we talk about the brute force from Garrett G, Squishy Muffins on the 50-50s and just being in position to support Justin and Garrett G, it's been flawless from him. It's not super flashy, again, but this is the new Squishy Muffins, I would say. The Squishy Muffins that is most comfortable on NRG, where he's filling in the gaps, playing that role perfectly as the support, and he's been doing a stellar job because He's winning 50-50s, bouncing it off the sidewall a lot of times I'll see, and then it goes back in the midfield for somebody like Garrett G or Justin to punish and capitalize. And can we talk about the decision-making too from Squishy Muffins? That man, as last back, he isn't even nervous at all to make a decision, and he doesn't hesitate.
The grand finals are getting spooky. Series 3 coming up to decide the winner of the Haunted Hallows Cup. Find out who after the break.
You know how some carriers give you so little for your older busted phone you just end up living with it? I don't think so. Verizon lets you trade in your broken phone for a shiny new one. You break it, we upgrade it.
You dunk it,
Doggy bone it, slam it, wham it, strawberry jam it. We upgrade it.
Get a 5G phone on us with select plans.
every customer, current, new, or business.
Because everyone deserves better. And with plans starting at just $35, better costs less than you think.
You know how some carriers give you so little for your older busted phone you just end up living with it? I don't think so. Verizon lets you trade in your broken phone for a shiny new one. You break it, we upgrade it.
You dunk it,
Doggy bone it, slam it, wham it, strawberry jam it. We upgrade it.
Get a 5G phone on us with select plans.
every customer, current, new, or business.
Because everyone deserves better. And with plans starting at just $35, better costs less than you think.
I did it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Rocket League
got him so
Championship
fast.
Series, brought to you by Verizon. This is the Haunted Hallows Cup. We're in the grand finals. I knew it. That's why I was so quick. I remembered I did it. It still counts.
I believe you.
I'm Leaf, alongside
So
me, Daz,
close.
Wave Punk, and Achieves. And we're here to talk about what just happened there, because it seems we're all geniuses at this point. We all figured it out, Achieves. You know, well, it's down pat, scripted, right?
Game is easy, man. I mean, when you say G2 will win the first one, it goes 7. Then NRG is going to win the second one, it goes 4-0. You are a genius because you know exactly how to play Rocket League. And this one was easy, truly. 4-0 straight.
I told you. I said the way that game 6 and 7 in this first series went gave me so much confidence and energy, even though they didn't win it, that they were going to come out and stomp in this series. 4 games straight. The sweep. We're into the next series here. And with some really, really solid team playing, they were popping on all cylinders here.
You know, I love when people talk about the bias, like, oh, Daz so biased on NRG. Oh man, this, that. I picked G2. Oh wait, what's wrong with Daz? Is something wrong with him? No,
You
it's
just know
that
Rocket League.
I just know Rocket League. Hello, welcome. I'm glad you unmuted the stream. Thanks for tuning in. Now, you know, this series is tied up and it's looking really good. And guess what? We're going to a third series here, Leaf.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm so distracted by that snowman just looking. I really can't get over it.
All right.
He's just looking around. His nose is poking it. Yeah, no. This was fun because it justified the flips and the calls that everyone that had earlier on. But you know, it all comes down to this one final best of 7 now. NRG and G2 are about to duke it out. Now I want to get the Verizon fan vote going here, so you guys can see where you're going to stand. It still was very much in favor of NRG that last one. Get your hashtags in the chat now. Let's see if that drops a bit more. I think we went from around 70 down to 64, and now
Should go back up.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here. Because I got before we do our predictions, I want to bring a stat. D-Rex just told me here. Since the RLCS has started the best of sets last season, teams are 24-1. That's 96% win rate when they win the first series. And it's 18-1 if you just count the best of 7s. That is not looking good for NRG. That is so. The question I gotta ask you guys is, since G2 took that first one, statistically, they should be winning this. And I want to know if we're flipping back. Achieves.
No.
Okay, then Snowman. I can't see you rubbing your chin, Snowman. So you get to go first. The other two, they're still thinking.
I
I don't know.
Snowman's
I don't
thigh.
know. This is so
He just
hard
melted.
because it's like, oh, like yes, I believe in NRG. This is the storyline I've told, but that stat is pretty hard to get around. But here's the thing. It's that there's that one, right? There was a one. One team's done it.
was a one.
It can be a second. This one, we're coming off of a sweep. I think NRG's got this one. I'm not flipping.
Okay, you're not flipping. Okay. Any other flippers?
I'm not flipping. We're going all the way. We're here. We're take everybody to the desk. Leaf,
All right.
are you joining us?
I want to say because I don't think I've heard an answer from Achieves. So I want to say I am not flipping Achieves.
Yeah, I
So-
said no.
I didn't hear it.
no.
Okay.
He's like, no.
Okay. So we are all sticking. We're sticking with NRG, and chat has gone way up, 80%. They think it's a GG right now. They think it's all over. They think
Let's
it's
go.
done. They think NRG is taking the crown here for the Haunted Hallows Cup. Well, I guess we're going to find out in a few moments, aren't we? Because we're about to head over to the Verizon Skybox where Turtle and Jorby are waiting to hype up this final best of 7 in the grand finals. G2 and NRG have brought it the distance. All that stands between the crown for the Haunted Hallows Cup and these two teams is one single best of 7.
NRG, one series away from clinching a spot in Sweden. Can they pull it off? G2 made it tough in that first series, Turtle, but it was all NRG in that second series. The desk golf feel the same, picking NRG again across the board. G2 got their work cut out for them.
It's just so hard to doubt NRG and this roster when there is that much on the line. Getting an early spot, an early secured spot at the first LAN we've had in quite some time, securing your ticket, but that doesn't mean you should count out G2. While they didn't look the best in that previous series, they kept it close in individual games. They looked solid many times on offense, and this break should do wonders for them and their mental game to get back into it and stay with that aggressive play style.
Oh, Garrett put it across, and it's Roller, and Chicago gets in front of it. Garrett again. But Drees will take this one away, and for Drees and company, Turtle, you know what's gotta break for them in order to get through this NRG team, because they really didn't have anything going for them in that second series.
I'm still stuck on that positioning out of G2 where they're all in the same spot. I like the risky plays that they go for, but I think they need to swap it up a little bit. It's getting too routine for them. Demos from Chicago, and then all of a sudden, Garrett G takes you out. It's like you try to punch NRG, they dodge it, and then hit you right back with another one.
Yeah, I think Garrett has downloaded G2's playstyle. Like, okay, you want to just go for demos? You think that's going to work? I'm just going to take you out. Easy goal for NRG.
And it's so effective whenever you're rotating back like that in a situation for Garrett G, because G2, instinctively, they'll get on offense and they'll think, okay, how can we extend? How can we be as aggressive as possible? How can we get a demo? So then that third man starts to push forward a little bit too much. And that means if you take him out of the play or even get a bump, make him move a little bit in that rotation, it is over for that last line of defense out of G2.
And Squishy's got a little bit of space. He's got Justin on his wing. He'll collect the boost for his efforts here. And JNAP's all he can do is punch the ball up. Maybe headhunt a little bit. He's certainly looking for boost, a bump or something, but Justin's just gonna boom it back down to his back wall. He missed it, and Chicago has to come in. He's able to beat Squishy to the ball, but Squishy's got the 50. Slips underneath. Oh, it's in front of the box, taken away by Chicago.
Oh, and that was a very scary double commit from G2, but I think it actually proved to be in their favor as they got the save. I thought I expected somebody out of NRG to crash the net in time, but fortunately enough for G2, nobody was there out of NRG, and now they can start to mount a counterattack here on offense.
Garrett pops this one up. Justin, he's got plenty of time to just drop it down in front of him. Force another 50. Force another 50. Drees will put that one out to the side. And now they got a chance. Drees one-on-one. He's got a little bit of boost. Oh, off the crossbar, and the shot doesn't come. 2 commit from NRG. JNAPS has to protect the rock against Squishy, and Chicago comes right in. He hasn't even rotated out. Drees waiting back as the third man, flows it over Squishy. You can't help but feel there's something left on the table on that push from G2.
And that one hurts because that was super uncharacteristic out of Drees. In that situation, normally Drees would take the ball down, go for a slow dribble, either get a better flick on net or allow his own team to go for the demo. It had been working 9 times out of 10 previously, and then hold on a second, it's wide open. Defense from G2, nowhere to be found, Jorby.
They might as well not even be in the lobby with that play. They double commit. Was that Drees?
Man, that was
he
Drees.
was jumping at that so early.
Yeah.
Why? I wasn't on his cam fast enough to understand why he was challenging that.
I don't think he expected a quick turn there from whoever his teammate was on the sidewall. It might have been JNAPS, I believe, but either way, you've got to have more awareness from Drees, the newcomer here on the G2 roster. A lot of pressure, again, on his shoulders, but he needs to stand up and prove himself in this series. Your last chance to take down NRG.
They haven't been able to get a lot going. 4 shots to their name, which on paper looks okay to NRG's 5. Then you look at the scoreboard and things are a lot different. That save was good enough from Chicago. What a landing from Squishy. It was a good recovery. Justin picks this one up now. Gets second touch. He's not going to get as much power as he did last time with that read.
I like that play from JNAP. So that's what G2 needs. More patience behind the ball, keeping it down. Unfortunately, Garrett G has been winning every 50-50, but if it's the other 2 members, maybe you have a chance at pushing forward. Here we have Chicago into the midfield. That was a good touch.
Bumped.
And Garrett G, he rotates back and gets a bump each time, Jorby.
I'm pretty sure Garrett just said, screw it. I'm just going to go up there and start pumping them, and then they won't be able to score. Yep. He's constantly bumping the third man. It's ridiculous how consistently effective it is. Oh Garrett, God scores again!
He doesn't stop. Garrett G is on a tear, putting up a fight and absolutely destroying the G2 defense. A double tap, you give him space, and it's over.
3-0 in game one. Well, G2 thought that a little break could help reset the mental, well, NRG had something to say about it. They came straight back into form.
There it is.
Okay. All right. G2 first goal. J-Naps picks it up.
Jorby, we've seen this before, okay?
Yes,
we have talked so much praise of NRG, but you never know. You never know. One goal is all it takes to lead to something special.
It's a spooky
NRG
kind
were
of
the
day.
oneed Exactly.
Who
NRG
knows?
were the ones who got that buzzer beater. I would like to see it from G2, but they're going to need to get one more here if they're going to need to rely on that buzzer beater.
Need a solid touch here from J-Naps. Chicago got a full tank of boost in the corner. He's following him up. Garrett shakes that ball off. Chicago gets the demo. J-Naps pushes across. He gets the demo. But Squishy was there covering the gap, getting bumped by Drees. They are trying to beat them with physicality, but even though they get a couple of chips onto the wall, it will not fall. Here's another one.
That's
Drees
it.
off the post and in. Wall breaker.
And he's made up for that previous mistake. Drees puts this one right to the back of the net. 28 seconds left. 3 players from NRG were flying at that ball, trying to make something out of it and get a pre-jump save, but Drees, the accuracy, proving to be strong.
NRG were able to mount a 3-goal comeback against G2 in the last series.
It can happen.
Can G2 do it to them? Here's Drees. Puts it across. J-Naps is there, but Justin was already in to receive the ball.
Oh,
Some time for G2. J-Naps is in the air for this. He doesn't get a touch. Gets a little chip. This forces Justin to stay flat. Shot
No way,
post,
no way,
off
no
the
way.
post. It wasn't on. And it's downfield. Justin's there. Feathers it. Oh, it's in. NRG collect the insurance.
Oh, that hurts so much. That shot from Drees, if it was a little bit more towards the right side of the goal, you would have seen it float in. Would have been a clutch play. Great effort from G2. You can't blame them for overextending in the final 10 seconds.
No time left for G2. And NRG now, what is it? 5 straight game victories?
5 games.
The ball in the air, merely a formality. The oldest rule in Rocket League. Keep it up for as
man.
long as possible. That wasn't very long. That's okay though. G2 need to get it figured out. NRG take game 1.
I mean, I'm sure they're eager to get into the next game because with the way they look towards the end of this one, you want to just instantly bounce back. And we might see a early G2 lead if they keep up this momentum. I like the aggression of what they were going for, involving much more demos, a lot more physical plays. NRG are just too good on not only relying on Garrett G with those bumps in the rotation back to his own half, but then also landing double taps like that with Justin downfield to punish too if you get it clear to him.
I mean, G2, they had a couple of solid chances even before they had scored. Like they were generating some opportunities.
Yeah.
It's tough to say. Chicago's kind of gone quiet in the scoring department. He's the only one without a goal in that game. He did have 2 saves. It's not as if Chicago was absent from play altogether. But when he was in that first series, like there was nothing he could do wrong. Everything he touched was on target and in the net. I don't know how they get that energy back, but they need Chicago shooting the ball.
I mean, this is such a difficult puzzle here for G2 to try and break down the NRG defense because you've got Garrett G harassing you. You've got Squishy Muffins, staying so far back as that third man, and then Justin kind of bouncing in between. What's the answer? What is the kryptonite for this NRG roster that has momentum, that has a lot of energy behind them? We're going to have to find out.
Back to Forbidden Temple for the 3rd time in this best of set. Garrett G pop up for Justin. Everybody misses the ball. And Drees will happily put that one over to Chicago.
One thing I did notice, Jorby, as we were reflecting on a lot of the replays from the first series, was that G2 were scoring a lot of goals where the ball was stationary. It was stuck to the ground. It was low shots towards the net where you're giving not only your teammates a lot of time to get demos, but you're just forcing better 50-50s. And aerial shots like that don't end up working quite often for G2 against NRG.
Yeah, nothing's really worked besides those low shots that you're talking about. Those infield passes that they actually just haven't had a lot of room to, to connect on. I feel like that's how NRG are forcing them to just kick that ball against the back wall. A lot of times they were pushing. They don't really have a lot of boost. Like here, Chicago, he's got one pass. Good fake from JNaps. Gets across. Chicago has to let it go for Drees. Drees, ooh, that's a dangerous approach. And Garrett G's going to get lead on the ball. He's got enough boost to stay behind it. JNaps follows him perfectly back over to the corner.
Well, it's ridiculous how safe NRG have performed and rotated on defense. You get around one player, you fake him, and then there's somebody else to get the follow-up save just off the crossbar. Doesn't get the shot to land, and we're left scoreless.
Even after he missed it off the crossbar, I thought he went for it again, and I thought he might have been able to get the touch. Another bouncer for Squishy. He's looked great in these back two series, even in the first one, but like the second and third one, he's just been such a threat on each end of the pitch.
Well, and one of the most important characteristics and traits that a third man, similar to Squishy Muffins at this moment, can have is being decisive. You have to have the ability to know which decision, which option is best, and then just commit. I haven't seen Squishy hesitate. He knows when to push up. He knows how to support his teammates, and he knows exactly which challenge is his.
And that's always what Squishy's looking to do. What's the best touch that will support his team? What's the best touch that will set up a quality opportunity? The demo's going to put Squishy in front of it, and this might be a dangerous opportunity. But again, Justin, he's up there. He stole that midfield boost, and now he's got a full tank for this one. Chicago can punt it off the backboard. Squishy all alone, and he gets the touch, but it's for Chicago. Shot on target, and Garrett G. He slams the door shut. Here comes another one, taken away by Justin. Garrett can follow it up and try as G2 may. There just doesn't seem to be a key to get through the lock of G2 or NRG's net.
But here's the thing, they're knocking on the door, Jorby. This could lead to something, at least give them the hope that it's possible. 5 games in a row they've lost, and then Justin with the fake squeezes it off the post and in. It is over right now in this game. It feels like for G2, they've got to recover.
Diabolical from Justin. Pulls it off. He's thinking, G2's thinking quick shot. Justin's thinking, I got a little time. That was dirty from Justin.
I didn't even think he had time to recover and get the shot on net. I saw him get around the first play, and I'm thinking, okay, but he doesn't have the angle. Nope, he squeezes it off the post and in.
Popped up high for Squishy. He tried to keep that one close. I don't think that's the touch he wanted. Oh, Chicago gets a shot, and that's too wide. Chicago's had 2 quality opportunities at the net. That one I don't think registered as a shot. Here comes one, saved, and you'll take that little pinch. It's in.
There it is, again.
Oh my goodness. I mean, you don't expect the ball to kick out down the middle of the field that hard, right? Like, you don't expect it to come out that hard. Chicago went for the corner boost again. Turtle?
I don't even know. Well, it's tough because it's like, do you blame Chicago in this situation for being aggressive and going for?
I'm just saying. Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, I understand. No, you're fine. Because we could go all day on this because you've got Drees coming in as the third man, and it's like you want to just starve out NRG. Does Drees go and opt for the shot? And if he does, which he did in that situation, it has to be better. He simply just handed the ball over. The touch has to be stronger, or at least hidden away from NRG if you can't find the back of the net.
We've seen a couple goals happen like that already, where, and I'm only picking on Chicago because I see him going for that corner boost because he's expecting the play to continue. But like, someone's got to be talking in that situation.
Absolutely.
You understand the need for G2 to take risks because of how far down they've been. They've lost 5 straight games. Something has to break for them. Here's one for Chicago. But again, nothing is working. It does not matter where they put the ball. High, low, to the side, a pinch, a demo. Nothing is working for G2.
And at this point, you just get desperate. You're the offense on G2. You can't slip that ball past the goal line. You're going to get frustrated. You're going to end up taking way more shots than you need to. In that same instance where Drees put a weak shot on net, he's just trying to break down the defense. He sees how close they've gotten to scoring, but they still can't hit the mark. Even when NRG are double committing, it is still a solid showing from them on defense.
After Garrett traps that ball, NRG still have control. There's Justin winning another 50. Time running out for G2. They might need another tactical timeout. They're going to be down 0-2 in the set unless they can score with some time. Here's Drees back to JNaps, and Garrett G's in the way. Justin there for the follow-up. He gets bumped, but no one from G2 is ready for it. Garrett beats Chicago to the ball. JNaps last chance, but with the amount of time left, it's impossible. 2-0 NRG in the final series.
And G2 look good. They're just panicking in these small little moments. Even in as JNaps was the one to put a shot towards the net. He could have gone slower, let that ball drop down, and gone for the more likely option to get a goal, which previously and historically has been the low ground shots to put it into the back of the net. Meanwhile, you've got Garrett G, who's going for demos as that third man, rotating back on defense. So you're scared of him. It makes you want to panic, Jorby, so you go for the early, eager shot, but you're just feeding in to the NRG trap, and they've won 6 games in a row here.
G2, that shot from Chicago, like, what do you do, man? Garrett's in there. You don't have a lot to do. I'm pretty sure he was low on boost on that play.
There it is.
That fake from Justin was nasty. That pinch, you really can't expect that. But 2 players going for the corner boost.
Man.
It's hard to, you can't pick a player to blame for that.
Yeah.
You can't, but it's just a symptom of the problem that G2 has had, Turtle, which is these leaky balls in midfield, this aggressive, risky play style that they love, that worked to such effect in Series 1, and they just haven't been able to recreate that magic.
And as I look and rewatch that play from Drees where everybody overextended, I don't even want to blame G2. That shot simply just has to be better. I think for G2 and against NRG, if you're playing that risky play style to win the grand finals, which is what you have to do, the shot simply has to be better. G2, they've got time. They've got chances to recover. Only 2 games down. You can get back into this series. They have the potential. They have the skill. Let's see if they can execute.
Where has the magic gone for G2? They look to restore some of it here. Light shot from Jane Apps turned away by Justin. Squishy next up on the 50. G2 got a little time to look at this ball. He sees his winger, Jane Apps, puts it up high. Drees in traffic, taken away. But still, G2, oh no, Chicago missed. And now he's got to put it back. G2 have to find a clear here. Justin just going to carry it across. Not the best touch from Drees. And Garrett bumps into Drees on his way to the ball. So Jane Apps will get that touch. An interesting sequence of events.
Yeah, and a good leave there from Squishy to let Justin have this clear. Again, that third man, so decisive. Squishy Muffins, smart on his performance, keeping it close. Look at him go. All this time now, taken off the clock. It lets Justin get back in rotation, and they can form that offensive power. But wait, hold on a second. The demo from Breeze, and it's denied from Justin. This looked like it was going to be something spectacular for G2, but it flipped.
That's so smart from Squishy. He's only got 10 in the tank. He sees Drees. He knows exactly where Drees is going to go. He's going to dive across, so his momentum is going to be carrying him into the net. So what does Squishy do? He puts it to the back side and puts it on the far side of the net. A brilliant touch from Squishy to get it by Drees.
This is scary, Jorby. NRG, they have got all the confidence, all the momentum in the world. You need to shatter it if you're G2. I don't know what that answer is right now because it is so difficult, especially now watching this performance from G2. It hasn't been polished. It hasn't been as clean in this series, but the chances are there. Something just needs to break that goal line. That could have been it, but it was saved from Squishy.
Garrett was immediately ready to receive, but you're right. The G2 blade is as dull as it's been all set long. Drees misses that touch. Justin could get by it, and G2 now the errors are just coming out. The pressure mounting for them. Understanding the gravitas of the situation, winning this grand final, rather than just being in it, will do a little bit more to solidify your place for a major spot. It means the most for NRG because they clinch if they win this. They're playing with fervor right now, and it shows on the pitch.
And you can also tell why G2 would be panicked on offense. Because they constantly are expecting somebody. Like right there, Drees, the early shot on net. He's got 2 players from NRG knowing he's going to take that early shot. And it's because Drees is scared that somebody like Garrett G or Squishy Muffins will demo you on the rotation back.
Another touch here from Justin. The Squishy doesn't have any boost. That's a good step for Drees.
Here we go.
Oh, good flick over Garrett. Justin got a great save. It's still a good look for G2, though. Chicago sees space on the backboard, and they nail it, but it's too late of a shot. That was such a weak shot from Jane Apps. They're going to try again. But Turtle, we're just talking about the shooting needing to be better. And G2, with a quality opportunity on their plate, just give it away.
But it's okay because they have the foundation. The setups are there. You can fix your shooting mid-series long. It's not too much of a change, Jorby. It's still within the realm of possibility for G2. Don't count them out yet.
Chicago, another one up. G2 didn't call a tactical timeout after that second game. They might need one if they drop this. Less than 2 minutes to go.
Oh, yeah.
And NRG are on tournament point. Up high, Jane Apps. Well, NRG looking for a quick clear. They're going to get it. Chicago traps the ball against the backboard.
Oh, look at the patience of Squishy. Look at all this space he has now. Garrett G took out that player. Justin even has time to crash the net with the rotation. Garrett G wins another 50-50. Justin up in the air, but hold on. There's good speed from Chicago, met with a challenge from Squishy Muffins. It is just non-stop of a barrage of attacks and challenges from NRG.
Another one here from Drees. A demo, double demo, leaves the net open, but Squishy's there. Here comes another one. Shot on target. Garrett G off the spawn. Keeps NRG up by 1. Chicago trying everything he can. He's won a bunch of 50s to get his team set up, but then the ball's just stolen away. JNaps, he flips this one across, but G2 just have to wait. They are playing to NRG's rhythm. And they just can't seem to match the pulse.
One player from NRG could get a little bit too aggressive, a little bit too confident. It's possible here, but with how level-headed they've been in the past 2 series, I don't see it happening. G2 might be looking at a reverse sweep in a best of 7, in the 3rd best of 7, albeit to beat out NRG.
Good grab from JNaps, but Squishy, he doesn't have the boost to chase that. Put it up high. Garrett G, that's in. That's in. Garrett G on a rip and tear through the grand finals. 15 seconds remain, and we're looking at another NRG victory.
And you could just see the smiles on especially Justin's face. Happy to have that security, that safety net to make sure you could have this 3-0 lead against G2 Esports. A massive obstacle that they are facing. And they've got to jump over it if they want to beat NRG.
Good 50 from Justin. G2 set up from Chicago, but every time they touch the ball, NRG swats it away. 1 game left until NRG find themselves a spot in Sweden.
Do we get a timeout, Jorby? That is the question. Do we get a G2 timeout?
I don't care if you don't. I don't care if you don't think the 60 seconds is going to do that much for you. Like, nothing is working right now. At least give yourself a little bit of breathing room to think, just to stop overthinking it. And like everything they've tried, it hasn't worked. Granted, NRG Turtle, they're playing out of their minds. Like G2, they had some solid opportunities. It's hard for me to sit here and say that G2, they're just clearing away the worst team. They're making mistakes, but like, despite the mistakes, they still are able to put together quality opportunities. The difference is NRG's defense. I'm sorry. Sorry for the offense or the defense, G2. You got to deal with it. It's tough.
If those shots on the opportunities that you're mentioning, Jorby, from G2 just went a little bit differently. They were more executed with actual mechanics because these shots, they're so weak. You know what I'm saying? It's like they get in front of the net. They have chances. And it's frustrating to watch, not only as a person who thinks G2 can come back in this series, but as a person who thinks that they have a huge advantage now to win the series, just fall so short in that striking department. It's the only issue I see right now for G2. It could change things if they start shooting better, Jorby. It could.
Can G2 up the accuracy in time? They got to do it in a reverse sweeping fashion. And with how NRG have looked, G2 are on their deathbed for the Haunted Hallows Cup. Even when Garrett gets bumped, he's still able to get behind the ball.
Let's see. G2.
Yeah, they could have had something set there. This is good. It's a good setting touch for Drees. The ball gets bombed back to their half. It's all about how Chicago handles that. Well, he lost it to Squishy. Now G2 on defense.
Nice little turn here from Squishy. He doesn't have any boost. Squishy, whenever he's faced with a 0 boost situation, he definitely opts to go for that challenge and make the smart play instead of going for the boost, which is so necessary to keep the offense rolling.
Another high ball. Garrett won't get the touch on it. Now, how did G2 take advantage of that little bit of space? That touch isn't really for anybody. Chicago is playing a wide wing, and the rotation was broken after that. That's a good bounce for Drees. Good shot, and G2 finally find the back of the net.
And you were thinking G2 have got to be the ones to score first. They have been in a rut. They have not been able to find that striking form. But here it is, Drees. Just over a minute into this game, and he strikes.
Maybe some light at the end of the tunnel for G2, but there's still a lot of length in that tunnel to go. That's a
There
great
we go.
carry from
This is what I
JNaps.
want.
You can't put it down. It's a confident air dribble from JNaps.
I want that slower approach, Jorby. I want it. I need it.
He might get it. They're pulling off on this one. JNaps sees a chance on a pass. He's going to take it. Dries puts another hard one. But again, doesn't matter how hard you hit that ball against the back wall or backboard. NRG really haven't given it up much. Here's another one off the corner.
Oh, double commit.
Ooh. And a great clear. That's what they needed to punish them. And Justin makes up for it with a great touch. And then a miss. Chicago's got to handle this ball. He's in a tough spot. He mishandled it. I feel like a couple of these chances, Turtle, where, G2, a rare NRG miss happens, but then they can't cover the ball up fast enough to actually punish them on it. They're going to push here. Looking for a
it
second
just
goal.
feels like it's mainly because of that third man out of NRG. And while it usually ends up being Squishy Muffins, whenever Garrett G and Justin are still in that situation with their last man back, they can come out clutch. Here's a good toss-up from Dries, but doesn't get anything from it. Nobody was ready to get the follow-up off the backboard. And that's the situation, Jorby, that I was talking about. It's like 1v2, 1v1, if you're NRG stuck on defense, they usually make that right play and the right decision.
Squishy picks up that midfield boost. Sets one up for Justin. Sets back for Squishy. He missed the ball. He tried to get it on his hood. Garrett G sets up Justin. Taken away by Chicago. Got the second touch, but Squishy knew it. And staying back on the play. JNaps wins the 50. Garrett picks up the save. And NRG a little bit of space. Garrett gave up that ball to Chicago. G2 off the ball here, though.
Yeah.
Justin going to take advantage with the space.
Seems like Garrett G has been a bit eager. He's not performing as well as we have seen previously, where he was just a monster, getting demos, rotating back. He's slowed down a bit. Only one goal now separating these two teams. A very difficult task for G2 to hold on, considering how effective NRG have been on offense. But if you're winning challenges like that, you just might be able to do it.
I still love that idea from Garrett to feint that touch and give Squishy a clean shot on net. But G2 were all privy to it. Excellent reads overall. And Justin on the backside picks up a save. Uh-oh. Not what you want from Dries. Oh, it's dangerous in front of the box. They get the goal anyway. Chicago puts it in, and G2 have a late insurance goal.
I'm telling you, something is off for Garrett G, and most importantly, their defense. That's a double commit. Squishy was rotating back. It was Garrett G's ball, but Squishy opted to go for it as well. That means it's going to float in front of your net, and you got a free cleanup from G2.
NRG have a chance with a goal like that. Garrett takes it right back, Turtle, for an NRG goal.
And that's so important. Look at the cheat from Garrett G. He's actually feathering his boost so he can not only dodge that demo from whoever was cheating on G2, but then get around and wrap that shot into the left side.
Clutch stuff from Garrett. They need that kind of performance from him if you want to come back 0-2.
Yeah.
Granted,
that's the last person
back
you want to get momentum to is Garrett.
For sure. NRG were able to come back even a bigger goal deficit against G2. So 0-2 is nothing for them, even with a minute left. But G2 needs some more insurance. Dries can't get it. Still a chance here for Chicago. JNaps playing the wing. Garrett no boost. Take the ball away from him. Still a chance here for G2. Another touch. Now G2 finally starting to win this corner boost battle. The net's open. Oh, it's off the post. They missed it. And Garrett takes out the last man. I'm not even sure he could get back to it. But still, that miss off the post, it might kill G2.
Yeah.
With 48 seconds left, Garrett pops this one up high. G2 have to be perfect on defense to maintain this lead. And that's a great carry. Oh, a great progression from JNaps, but Garrett slips back in to pull it back to the corner.
And I'm still thinking about that miss from G2. It was the safety net, the security they needed. Squishy Muffins forced to get a goal line save. He finds the touch, and NRG are scrambling. Still within one. No safety net awarded to G2. NRG looking for that one goal.
Garrett barely picking up the save. Here's another one from JNaps. Excellent G2 attack to kill all of this time off the clock. They just have to do it for a little while longer. Now on defense, Garrett G flying in the air, blocked. Squishy was playing a little farther back, and now he's got to make up for lost time. That's not going to get it done. JNaps, well, he loses the ball to Justin, but Garrett's playing so far back. G2 survive for a game.
Here we go. This is the first step, Jorby, into the best of 7 reverse sweep. G2, they were slowing things down a little bit more. Instead of having all these midfield and out of the box shots, they were dribbling it. And not only were they going for slower shots, it seemed like the defense of NRG with not only double commits, but also poor touches and mechanical issues plaguing them.
Yeah, those mistakes and G2's ability to actually get those corner boosts so NRG could stop being in the perfect position all the time. They were actually able to get some length on the backboard. They were actually able to win 50s in the attacking third. And look what happens. They waste all that time on the clock. They put 14 shots on net. NRG only got 2 shots that whole game. It was looking a lot like the first game of this whole set was the whole way back in the first series.
I'm nervous, though. Now you got to do that for the rest of the series. Do G2 have what it takes? Do they have what it
3
takes?
best of 7s? That's tough, man. We're in marathon mode.
Somebody has to step up. I think if this is going to happen for G2, it's not only going to be like a team thing. You think Drees? You think Drees is going to answer the call?
I think Drees has had some key mistouches or whiffs that could have generated good pressure for G2. So if he locks it up, you saw how he played in Series 1.
Oh, yeah.
If he can lock it up and find those quality touches again, G2 will be just as big of a threat as they were in that first series. But they got a long journey ahead of them on the road to the reverse sweep. Underway on Wasteland Night.
The phone is ringing. Will Drees answer the call, Jorby? I think it's gonna happen. I think we get Game 7. I'm gonna say it just because I really want it. I want
to go early Game 7 call, Turtle. I'm dangerous.
Come on, man. Believe in something.
Just want the most quality Rocket League possible.
Absolutely.
And Drees gonna pop this one up for his team. Drees made a couple of car switches, trying to keep that mental clean. Oh, that's almost in, but Squishy grabs it. It bounced off the post. Justin got the save.
I am concerned, though, with the amount of goal line saves. Like, we were seeing NRG get these saves, these types of pre-jump, crazy, spectacular saves against Team Envy. And now G2, they're seeing this happen. Do they get too eager and desperate to put some shots in? That's what led, in my opinion, to that full sweep in the last series. They were getting frustrated and they just decided to put every touch on net. How do they respond and handle those goal line saves from NRG this time?
Well, so far they have to get the ball out on defense. That one in the corner off the post. Justin's shot denied by Drees. Chicago picked up a few small pads, got a power shot out to Drees, but it's just going to drop down. And Squishy will carefully handle this ball. And a good little pinch out. Garrett tried to find the read on the dunk. Justin up for this. Read Chicago in midfield. And that buys time for NRG. They needed Justin to get that touch.
I wonder what the nerves are like for NRG. A ticket to Sweden is on the line. Will somebody step up from NRG? We were talking about Drees from G2. Garrett G was leading the way in the last series. Will that happen again? Or maybe we'll see the young prodigy Justin step up himself.
Good touch from Squishy to Justin. Justin feathering the boost. Gets underneath on the flip reset, but it's taken away by J-Naps. Drees next up. Double commit from G2. Squishy ended up winning that 50. Garrett got all day to look at this. Pass in front to Justin. Goal blocked by Chicago. They just got to get this ball. G2 need a clear because that's Squishy's ball on target, taken away by J-Naps. Squishy opts for the ball instead of the boost. And it's going to work out. G2, it's getting tied up together in this corner. They got to be careful. They start to spread out now. Garrett wants that bump. Oh no, G2 messed up on the goal line. Oh,
it's not in. It's not in.
Post. Is it going to go in? Whoa. Yes. NRG and a capital punishment on the G2.
I thought for a slight moment Chicago would be the G2 defensive savior yet again. He just got a pre-jump. He went for the backwards flip to try to scoop that ball out of the goal line. But it was just too deadly, too dangerous of a situation. NRG score first.
Here it comes again. G2 trying to get that tying goal quickly. You do not want to give NRG any comfort with a 1-goal lead. Look at Squishy. Moves around. You can't bump him off the ball.
Yeah.
Justin puts that off the corner. He's still going to try for that 50, but Drees wins this one big.
Oh, and a big miss.
Chicago and just can't find the touch. J-Nap's going to make up for it with a clear downfield. In fact, he might even get a 50, but that's a tough ball. Look at Garrett just roaming around trying to force Chicago out of the rotation. Drees also harassed, and Chicago could force the next 50, but look how much time is already shaved off the clock. Less than 2 minutes to go. Light shot. It's got to be better than that from G2.
And Squishy has so much boost here. I'm getting flashbacks to the FaZe versus NRG grand final in the first regional event. Squishy barely had any boost, and we did see FaZe come away with the win, but it is the opposite story. He is third man with a full tank, and look at him go right here in the air to secure maybe the second goal. Things looking good for NRG.
G2 need some energy off this counterattack. They haven't been able to get any attack going. Only 2 shots on net. Compare that to the 12 from NRG, and they just might put in insurance. Justin does it again! 2-0. NRG looking at Sweden.
And this might just be the goal that sends them to Sweden. The security that NRG had been waiting for. They get it, and it's all thanks to Justin.
A minute 18 left for G2. They have 9 saves as a team, 3 apiece.
Here we go.
Saves are great, but you'd love to see something in the goal column. Chicago forces the 50. JNAP's up for this, and he missed. Nobody got the touch.
And that's ideal for NRG. If you go up and both of them are expecting a touch and it just floats back down, all that valuable time wasted off the clock. G2 have got to put in some work. This could do it. JNAP's around one, not around the second one, and the follow-up is wide.
No way!
Freeze with the miss. He needed that shot.
No way G2 misses that ball. That's the one that has to go in. Here comes another one. Drees doesn't get a bump, but there's another defender in the post. Chicago can't get there either. NRG, they're unbreakable. Can G2 do it this time? JNAPS, no, he can't. Oh, he missed the ball. G2 are completely out of sorts. They can't even find a touch. They can't find anything against this NRG team. 20 seconds left. Oh, Wasteland Knight, another clear for NRG.
Where is the accuracy, G2? They've got 12 seconds to stop NRG from making it to Sweden, and it looks like this one just might float down to the ground.
Time expiring, headed to 0. A formality now, the ball is in the air, but as soon as it touches the ground, NRG punched their tickets to Sweden.
They battled back against Team Envy